Hey, what's going on, guys? KingSithis here, back at it with another live stream. We are
World
here
of Warcraft. Talk to AnCaps.
playing some World of Warcraft. Today I'm gonna be playing on my warrior, and I'm already in a room in the Religions and Politics Discord. So if anyone wants to pop in, have a chat, just let me know. Let's see if anyone joins up. All right, so we're already pretty much ready for a dungeon. If nobody joins the room within 10 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to a different server, and hopefully, you know, I could get a little bit of conversation going, you know, but we'll see. Looks like there's a quest turn in over here, so I guess while we're waiting for one more person, I'll do that quest turn in. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
What's going on, man?
It's going good, thank you.
Good, good, good. I'm an anarcho-capitalist.
Please, what is that? Give me a detail.
An anarcho-capitalist is a person who believes very strongly in the non-aggression principle. We are anarchists. We don't believe in a state, and we also believe in capitalism. We believe very strongly in capitalism. So we're anarcho-capitalists.
What is the purpose? What is the mission of an anarcho-capitalist? And then, what is your mission?
Well,
What is your goal?
ideally, the mission would be to abolish the state and ideally replace it with private companies whose job it is
What?
to
What a minute. Abolish. What a minute. Abolish what?
the state.
Oh, the state. Okay.
Yeah, and
Replace it with a company.
yeah, private companies. Yeah, competing firms.
And then when you, when you replace a state, what is a state?
A state is a legitimized criminal organization.
Is it a state like a government?
Basically, yes.
So basically, you are telling me that replacing government of United States with a company, with a private company.
Well, not just one, but multiple private companies. Yeah, competing firms.
Yeah. Then replacing a government, right? Like replacing a White House with a private company, competing company who are much more highest company will be sitting in the White House, something like that, right?
It wouldn't be a company just controlling all of the United States. It would be companies like protecting there could be multiple companies protecting the same area.
So then, who is controlling that multiple companies?
It wouldn't be one person.
Who
It
will
would be
be the
multiple different entities. So you know how like there isn't one person that owns like all the cookie businesses. There's like multiple competing ones, and they sort of compete with each other to like make the best cookie or whatever. Well, that's kind of how it
Yeah, I
would
know,
work
but
with
yeah, but
yeah.
yeah. My question is that who is gonna be the one that managing that competition?
Oh, well, the people who own the companies will manage their assets, and the people who buy their services are the ones that will incentivize them to provide the best service, because if not, then they will go somewhere else.
The people of the company managing competition of multiple companies. Is
Nobody
that what you're
manages the
telling me?
competition of the multiple companies. It's multiple people controlling their own company. Kind of like,
Oh,
in any industry, there's isn't just one company that runs each industry. It's multiple companies that kind of compete with each other to give the best product, and that would be how it would work with private insurance.
yeah, but when you work in a competition of a companies, right? Multiple companies. There is a contract agreement. There is a MSA, mutual standard agreement between those company, right? That's how the competition, right? So, who is managing that agreement between one company to another company?
They would manage it with each other. Oh, hey, what's up, the fly?
Yeah, but
What's up,
it has
KingSithis?
to be either
Are you here to
independent.
contradict me like you did last time?
Me?
Who is
Yeah.
that?
I wasn't
Oh shit!
contradicting you. I was just saying some truth nukes, bro.
No.
God damn!
No.
All right, wait, Neo, are you an anarchist, bro?
No.
No, I'm
He
trying
doesn't
to
know much
understand,
about
bro.
it. He just
I'm,
came in and I was just explaining it to him.
I'm just trying to give a explanation to this guy that even if you replace a government with a company, it will always be someone managing those companies, and that managing is become another government. It doesn't
Well, no, no,
matter.
no, no. The difference is, right, is that a company is voluntary, right? You don't have to go pay Burger King, right? But you do
Hmm.
have to pay a government.
Hmm.
And also, we're not against hierarchy. We're not against authority, right? There's nothing wrong with managing a large group of
Yeah,
things, right? I mean,
you pay
Yeah.
it's
someone, you pay some entities to manage this competition of a companies. That's some people who manage the companies. It become another government. Then you pay them, and then it's going to be tax,
Yeah, but
a form
it's
of a
different
tax.
because it would
no,
be
that's
voluntary.
voluntary.
Yeah, it would be voluntary.
Huh?
Like, cause like if you when you go to the store and you buy a sandwich to feed your hunger, like nobody's forcing you to buy that sandwich. Like no one's putting a gun to your head saying like you need to buy that sandwich or you're gonna, I'm gonna shoot you. But
Bro,
with the
bro,
government, they will kill you if you don't pay
bro, bro,
taxes.
bro. This is like resetting to zero. You just start all over again, and it's gonna be then evolve in the next 100 years later. And then there is another people like you, anarcho capitalists, trying to
Wait,
reset
you
back to zero. It's the same thing.
no, no, wait, but you just presupposing that, and it has nothing to do with our ethics. We're spouting a set of ethics, right? What happens after, we don't know. I mean, you're just presupposing that. We actually don't even know if that will happen in 1,000 years. You don't know if that will happen tomorrow after we reach anarchy. You're just saying that, and that doesn't really affect our
Bro,
ethics. We should tackle the
bro,
ethics,
I've
not
been
just talk about consequences. We have no idea what would happen.
no, it's bro. I've been working in a lot of companies for over a decade. You know, uh, Uh, so when you work with a company, you cannot just manage individually your own company. You have to have another management to be able to having a contract with another company.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Cool.
So
But
someone
wait,
need to
where's
pay
the
you
okay? But when do we
as a
start? When does it
management.
get to the
Huh?
point where we start forcing people to pay? Where we start putting
Well,
guns at people so they pay? Where does that
when
happen
when
at?
you pay someone to manage this company, that someone is gonna be is gonna be treated as another government, and then it's gonna be evolved over the time. It's gonna be another law, blah 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 blah, and then a
Yeah, but
new
it's not
government.
one. It's multiple competing firms in a private market.
Well, that is the beginning, but eventually, because of it has to be in a common ground, because multiple misunderstanding. Okay, we need to simplify the process into one system, and that one system is going to be one government, because the multiple things are managing, that is not good in business.
You're just
Yeah,
presupposing
you're
that. That has nothing
presupposing
to do
that.
with the
Yeah.
ethics.
It's not. Are you guys a student or what? Have you been
No.
worked in any
No,
company before?
Yes.
what does that have to do with the ethics? Or what does that have to do with the
Yeah, that
ethics?
that doesn't have much to do with this. And yes, I have worked
what
for
what what do you mean?
companies before.
What do you mean ethics? Ethics of a company is a business of a code
No,
of
the
conduct
ethics.
ethics. What?
KingSithis. Did you explain the ethics?
Well, yeah, because well, I was just explaining. I just gave the basics of what anarcho-capitalism is. I didn't really even go into into ethics. But the ethics is
Are you
fundamentally we
guys in the
believe in
ethic
the.
class right now? Are
Hmm?
you doing homework of an ethic class?
We just read books on ethics.
You just subscribe to ethics class? What?
We don't go to. I don't go. I
We just
mean,
read
I'm not gonna
books.
speak for him. I don't speak. I don't go to school. I just read books. Yeah.
Okay. So now what is your homework?
I don't
What is
have
the
homework. I
project?
don't go to school. I told you.
We read more
Yeah, I
books, bro.
mean,
Yeah, we just
in,
read
in,
books.
in your yeah, in your reading your books, right? You should have a project.
My YouTube channel.
Mhm. You go to the YouTube channel, you go to Discord to do this kind of a debate. All right, got it.
Yep. What's wrong with that?
So have you worked with any company beside
Uh,
YouTube content creator?
I have a job.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that's relevant though.
It is relevant because I work with American company, multinational company, and then when we have agreement, when we start a business, it's not that it's not that I'm starting the business with this company, but it's this company is really massive company, and it has to be controlled or managed by some others between one company to another company.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
you cannot just
Good evening,
the
cithies and
trading
debaters.
system. You know, the trading system. You cannot just anyhow sell a pot or making a contract with some other company without something a legal entity managing that. That's not how it works in this world.
I don't think you're understanding what we're
It's not.
saying.
It's not like you go to the supermarket, buy the things, and compete with other supermarket. Nah. So what kind of ethics? If you're trying to replace a government, it's gonna be another government. It's, do you know what is the meaning of a state or government? It's just a
Okay, wait, can you see this?
managing
I'm gonna get off right
people.
now.
Yeah,
I'll be
man.
Okay.
back
Have a
on
good
later.
night.
You know, bro.
All right. All right.
Yeah, again, you're just presupposing that that's gonna happen. You don't have any
Presupposing what, bro?
that it's just gonna turn into another government. You don't have any basis for that.
What do you mean? I don't have a basis for that. I'm giving you a logic example. Okay, let me give you another example. Like you have a one family and trying to manage with another family. What is gonna happen? You need someone to manage that, right? In
So you're meaning that every
energy
single is every single industry
family.
monopolized?
Uh-huh. Okay, monopolize. Okay, then what?
No, I'm asking you, is every industry monopolized?
No, is a competition. What do you mean,
Okay,
if
so just be okay,
every
so
uh
in the industries in most
uh
industries you see that there's competition and it doesn't just turn into one monopoly, right?
uh
Okay, so then why would it be any different for multiple competing firms in the insurance agency?
because the way how they do a transaction between one company to another company require a management.
Oh, wait, those
You cannot.
companies, the companies in the
Uh-huh.
other industries also have management, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, and they don't just turn into one company, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then why would that happen under this situation when it doesn't happen under any other situation?
Well, assuming that you're trying to say that when you making an like for example MSA agreement, mutual agreement, right? Assuming
Mhm.
that you don't bind it with a legal procedure or legal law, then they will just write their own agreement and without binding any kind of
Well, they combined
a
it with
law.
arbitration, private arbitration.
Yeah, that's the conflict is gonna happen
No,
because that
they can
company.
sign binding arbitration agreements with each other before they get into a dispute.
Yeah, so the problem is that there will there will be a difficult to sign an
Other
agreement
companies and other
because
industries are able to do
it's
that, right?
able to do that because right now we are bound with a legal system, and that legal system
But you don't need a state.
is
You don't
not.
need to you don't need a state in order to have a legal system.
That's what I'm saying. Let's assume there is no legal system,
No,
right?
there is
And
a
then what
legal
happened?
system.
Who did that?
The
Because if the legal
private
system by
insurance have their own
individual.
the private insurance companies have their own legal system, and it would be based on the
What are
non-aggression
you
principle.
guys yapping ABT?
That's what I'm telling you.
Hmm.
The private insurance, what is that?
Private insurance are companies that insure your property against damage
Well,
or theft or
what they are
damage.
following?
Unholy
What is a
yap.
private insurance following? What kind of a procedure? What kind of a legal law they are following?
You've never
Do you
had
think they
wait,
make
have you ever
themselves?
driven a car?
Yes, I
Do
have
you
a
have
car, driven a
do
car.
you
Yeah,
have car insurance?
Yeah, the insurance car is following the legal law.
Yeah, so what they would be following is the law that is set by the non-aggression principle. It's the non-aggression principle would be the law. That's the law they would be
Launching beam
following.
3, 2,
Well,
1.
that is then when you that is another government, right?
No, it would be It would be voluntary government.
Yes, is a follow whatever the name it is. It is a government.
But it wouldn't
behind.
be a state.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
It does
matter.
matter.
It's just
It matters to me.
You can change
The
the
state
name.
is
You can change the
involuntary,
name,
right?
Yeah, you can change like a
But
voluntary.
a private company is
government.
voluntary, right?
Yeah, you can.
So
you can
there's a
change it.
difference,
It's
right?
just a name. Yeah, it is a difference. It's just a name.
Okay, so then it's not the same.
Well, there's a country for that, like in Southeast Asia, like in Singapore.
Mhm.
You know, it's owned by private company.
You mean
Singapore is
Honduras?
owned by private company. Huh?
Well, there's a place called in Honduras that's kind of similar to that too.
Yeah. So, but that private company voluntarily
They don't turn into a government.
It is. It turns out is evolving, right? They start to run the business in Singapore 1965, and it start evolve. It start to evolve and then become a state of a government.
But it's not.
Republic of Singapore.
Companies
But
aren't
it's
a government.
still-
Just say
What do
it
you
doesn't
mean?
matter.
I mean, they even
Your claim
impose
is
their
descriptive and not
society
responding
to
to
go to the
property
military
ethics.
training to protect their government.
Well, either way, your claim isn't responding to property ethics. Fundamentally, it's an ethical
Your
argument that I'm making.
presuppositions aren't saying anything.
My argument is that taxation is theft. It is a forceful extraction of wealth by the state. That's why I want to get rid of it.
You want to get rid of a tax because I remember that.
Mhm.
I do remember that someone.
I would rather
actually,
it be voluntary. And as
Yeah,
far as
yeah,
I could tell, the best way
voluntary.
to have a voluntary system like that would be to privatize it.
Yeah. I think I understand what happened. You guys are really suffering because of a tax. No wonder. Yeah, I get that.
Are you being
The stupid
sarcastic?
tax. No. I have a friend in the United States working in the United States. He got two taxes, double tax from federal and from the state. It's so stupid. I
Bro,
couldn't imagine.
we have a lot of taxes here in the U.S. We have
These
sales
Europeans.
taxes.
SST, yeah.
We have sales taxes, income taxes, state taxes, federal taxes. Like everything is taxed.
Social democracies rot
Yeah,
brains.
no wonder you become anarcho-capitalist. Yeah,
Because we're tired of it.
yeah, it's
1776
I mean-
will commence again.
And then and then we talk about Elon Musk, who are trying to investigate this all of corruption of a tax. And
Yeah, I think he was doing a great
billions,
job, but then they stopped him because they didn't like that he was shutting down a bunch of
Exactly.
government.
Yet Europe still has more. People in
Yeah, I
Europe
think I
are way
agree
poorer
with you.
cause
We
of
need to
taxes.
reset back this government of the United States back to zero and then start over again. But I don't know how we can do that.
We need to
Yeah, I think I
change the
support your-
philosophy, bro. We need to change the philosophy of the day, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man, there's just so much corruption in the United States.
Well, that's
The
inevitable.
billions of dollars, trillions of dollars is gone. Elon Musk just provide the data, and the data is nothing. They can do that. I mean, what Trump? Nothing Trump can do, right? It's nothing at all. They shut it down and then just gone. Continue the corruption.
Pretty much. They're never going to stop it. Congress will never stop the money flow because that's what gets them votes. The more that they can give to people, the more votes that they get. And they don't have to
So
reap
how
the damages of the things that they do.
United States people population in America is a massive. It is 380
They want money.
million people.
As expected.
And I believe this type of anarcho people like you it will require
But
probably
government breeds
20
incompetence.
million people to do a demonstration to reset the government.
If only there was that many
But
AnCaps. I wish there was.
ACAP,
Yeah, AnCap is short for anarcho-capitalist.
um, ah, yeah, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of people moving to New Hampshire and calling themselves libertarians, and they're trying to basically turn it into a more libertarian state. But we'll see. I hope it works out.
Yeah, but it requires a smart people to run that. Requires smart people, rich people, and yeah, high intelligent people is needed in that area. Uh, because if a poor people, if a low intelligent people running that place, it's gonna be chaos.
Libertarians are the smartest
Uh,
people ever. Trust.
Yeah, you need to have probably a combination of Asian people and Jewish and white people, maybe a little bit black people. You know,
I'm not sure what race has to do with all this, but all right.
it is the facts, but I'm telling you, facts is really pain. Is not a good, but the high intelligent who runs the business is always be white, Jewish, and Asian.
Well, that's good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. As an me as an Asian guy,
So
I
are you an
support
AnCap
this,
now?
Yeah, I can say that I'm an ACAP. I would say I can be an ACAP uh, uh, by seeing this United States government because it's really bad United States government right now. But
You're on my YouTube channel, you know that?
I think I know that, but it's okay. Never mind.
Just letting you know. Just, I'm an AnCap YouTuber, and I make YouTube videos about AnCap. So if you want to learn more about it, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Can I ask the link to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. You could just click my thing, my profile, and it should be right on the YouTube thing. If you,
Thank you.
you see it?
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And you're on it right now. I'm talking to you guys while I'm
KingSithis?
playing World of Warcraft. Are you a AnCap aesthetic referrer? Referrer?
No, I'm objectivist adjacent. I used to be an ANCAP, but now I'm a minarchist.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, objectivism. I don't really know much about it. I'll be honest with you. So, I don't really call myself an objectivist. But I respect objectivists. A lot of respect. I mean, I like Ayn Rand. I think she's cool.
I'm trying to start my own YouTube channel for discussing philosophy. I don't know how to get started, and I see you have 900 subscribers. I have 2, so you're significantly above me right now. What should I do to get started?
Make videos that are, get your ideas, write them down on a paper. Write either a script or an outline. Make a topic. That you find interesting. Like, for instance, like my videos. This is kind of how I'm just telling you how I make my YouTube videos. I kind of just find a topic that I find interesting. Like, for instance, like the minimum wage. I write down all my arguments for it, or against it. I should say. And I turn it into kind of like a script. And then I kind of read it out. I edit it,
Mhm.
and then I make it into a YouTube video.
Hmm.
You know, so I think that's definitely a good thing to do. If you want if you want to do like live streams, debating people is always good. You know, interviewing people.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do. I debate people.
So you do that here, or is there some other place you go for debates? And how do you get people to subscribe and stuff like that?
Basically, I kind of just I also make TikToks as well. So I just do everything I can to push myself out there. Oh, Jerkman. Oh, are you
Well,
here to
what's up?
contradict me? Oh, it's
Yeah.
you guys.
Okay, live.
Oh no, I'm being invaded.
Hey,
Yeah, this is the most
that's a weird
amount of people that's
reaction.
ever watched your stream. So you're.
That's
you're
a weird
welcome.
reaction to people joining your VC. You know?
I know. I'm being
Like,
invaded.
oh no, people
Oh,
want to
no,
hang out with
blacks
me.
and the
Oh
Jews
no,
and
I'm
the-
being invaded.
Oh no.
Well, how you guys doing? Good.
Great,
Doing
man.
pretty good.
I'm hanging out.
You know, we were you know, discussing some econ. You know,
Mm-hmm.
E-commerce.
juxtaposing neoclassical price theory with Marxian price theory. You know.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Um,
I don't think we got anywhere. But
yeah, I don't know if we got anywhere, but we did have information to discuss. KingSithis, what do you think about neoclassical price theory?
I don't really know much about it. I'll be honest.
so like,
Right. I remember you
imagine-
saying you were mainly just an Austrian guy, right?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
more of
vibe.
an Austrian guy.
You guys told me this guy was based. He doesn't even know
He's
neoclassical
based.
price theory.
He doesn't know what it means. What do you think about
I don't know
like
a lot of
capital
things.
structure and roundabout production? That's what I should ask.
Roundabout production. Could you explain that?
Like capital is heterogeneous, so like roundabout production, where you have like a complex intertemporal chain of production stages, not like a single capital stock. Yeah.
Tell Jerkman Fly said hi.
I think that idea
The fly
comes
said
from-
hi, Jerkman.
the fly. Oh,
Is he in
Yeah, I
Ukraine?
don't really understand what you're saying. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Do you think
That
that
is true.
changes in interest rates affect the length and composition of production processes?
Probably.
Okay. Well, what do you
You
think
think
that
length
mechanism
matters?
is?
I think you're asking me way too complex questions right now.
That's my fault, bro. That's actually my
what do you-
fault. Okay.
What do you think?
Respectfully,
about
like
the
I don't know if I'm like really that advanced. You got to ask somebody like maybe Liquid Zulu or
Zulu is not an econ bro. I ain't gonna lie. He's gonna be stunned by the motherfuckers too.
yeah, or
How about
I don't know.
sorry.
I don't know. He's just somebody more smarter than me.
I love that. I love that video where Liquid Zulu gets dog walked by that like Spanish Marxist LTV guy.
I don't think
Victor
so.
Magarini or
I don't think
something.
so. I think
That's-
that
that's
Liquid
fun,
Zulu
man.
won that one.
That's an
Personally,
enjoyable video.
I feel like he won
All right.
personally, but I'm biased because
Listen.
an
Value is
AnCap.
subjective, and we're all entitled to our opinions.
well, that's. Well, then wouldn't you be in disagreement with Victor then, or because he believed in STV or LTV? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, he's an LTV guy.
I mean, I would hope you guys agree with the STV. I feel like it makes the most sense to me. I made a YouTube video about it.
Jerkman, you want to take this? I know you're a big LTV guy.
No, me and
Huge-
him already talked about it. Yeah, so he already knows all my arguments.
I'm just the biggest LTV guy ever.
You're an LTV head.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I
did
like-
talk about it for a little bit though. I mean, I don't want to get back into. I mean, unless you want me, I don't want. Do you guys want to talk about something?
What do you think about ICE? So you're anti-ICE, right? I would assume
Yeah. I'm open borders.
open borders. Are you? What do you think about Israel?
I'm anti. I believe in a no state solution.
Classic.
Get it?
Yeah, I do. Okay. How about like military? Like, okay, military shit.
I mean, I'm an anarchist, so any reduction in the state is good in my book.
Okay, but like private armies, we're chilling.
Assuming they're not violating the NAP.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with companies as long as they don't violate the NAP. I know you guys don't really like private companies, but me personally, I don't have a problem with companies but I don't have a problem with co-ops neither. So,
What do you think about the Civil Rights Act 1963, I believe?
Abolish.
Or is it 68?
Abolish.
Oh, I thought you said I'm Polish.
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Do you think in the abstract, do you think that there's any instance where individual interests and collective interests might contradict one another?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think should happen when stuff like that occurs?
It should be decided upon based on private property rights or the non-aggression principle.
Okay. So okay. It might be in like individual interest for someone to like dump radioactive water in a river or something like that, like nuclear runoff or whatever.
That could affect somebody else if you're violating, and that's an aggression. So
sure, but part of the river might be on your property, right? And once you put it in, the water just carries it. It's not really.
Yeah. So if what you dump in there affects another property owner or their property, then that's an aggression.
Okay. Just property here. We're counting like individual person. Like I'm my own.
Yeah, like my house, my land, my body. Because I consider your body to be your property, as in your own property. And ownership would just just one thing. Ownership would just mean the right to control a scarce resource. And because your body's a scarce resource, we consider your body to be your own property. And I know that's it.
Okay. And what's gonna happen? Like, what will happen to me if I decide to pollute a river?
Well, if it affects somebody else and there's some measurable damage being done to that person, you would owe that person restitution.
And what would enforce that? Like, why?
Well, there would be
what does that mean? What does that mean in the absence of a state that I would owe them something?
Well, in us libertarians, we generally believe in like a restitution based. Like if I take something from you, you would owe me the money to give me back my thing, right? And then a little bit extra money, and then some extra money because of the crime that you committed. And so that restitution would be like another way of. Sorry, go ahead.
The person I'm affecting is less like socially powerful.
Wait, one at a time, please.
So the people that I'm affecting by dumping shit in the river, say for the sake of argument that they don't have they're less powerful. They don't have the resources to like seek restitution.
Oh, there's claim subrogation.
What is that? What do we mean?
So essentially, the idea is if you don't have money, like injury lawsuits firms.
Okay.
You know how you don't have to pay them up front? They just take money, proportion of the restitution that's given to you after the judgment has been done.
Okay.
No, they could work the same because we believe in a restitution-based system that it would work kind of the same way. It could work the same way. You could sell your claim.
These people would like take the person to court or something?
Yeah, they would take a person to court, and then if they're found guilty, they'll take a portion of the restitution that is owed to you, and you're basically selling your claim to that business.
Like a private court?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the court operates for profit.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Okay, how does it work though? Like,
Well, I mean, if there's a dispute between two individuals. Individuals in the market generally want to settle those disputes, and more often than not, it is more expensive to fight and go to war than it is to settle it in a peaceful manner. So that's why the business of arbitration, and arbitration is just a person that is a judge, essentially. They are a person that is overseeing a dispute and then making a decision on behalf of the two disputants. And if you're if you're a private court, you're going to want to create laws that are just and are fair to both parties to incentivize both parties to want to go to your court.
And the law governs that court law governs a given territory.
It wouldn't be a territory. In fact, there could be multiple private companies protecting people in one area. It wouldn't be a territory, unless, of course, they own the land. Then it would be, I guess, their territory. But if it is unowned and you're being protected, like, it would be the same way as your car insurance. If you get into a car accident, they would get the person who they would pay you out of the pool of money that is being paid into by many of the people who are paying into it, and then they would figure out a way to collect restitution.
Okay, so that's another thing, right? Is like, I pollute your river, or a river that you also rely on for like water, natural resources, whatever. You come to one of these like attorney injury lawyer people, who then says, all right, I'm going to take you to court. How do you ensure that I'm going to show up in court? Like,
if you're they're gonna, if you're found guilt, like, you could take anything to a court, but if they're find you guilty of the crime, they're gonna collect. They would be in their right to collect restitution. You don't have to show up, but if that court finds you guilty, then that business would have the right to collect restitution. Or unless your business, they would have the right to collect restitution on your behalf. They would come to you and be like, hey, give me the money, or we're gonna extract it from you because you've been proven to violate the property rights of the individual under our firm. And that's why people would be incentivized to have their own private insurance agency, so that and show up to these arbitration firms, or be represented by their private insurance agency, and they won't even have to show up. They'll just have their private insurance agency represent them with some lawyer in the dispute. It really just depends on the situation.
I've got a private security force that is answerable to me, right? And it's bigger and more advanced than the court's private security, or whatever they would use to try and collect restitution from me forcibly.
Okay.
Then what happens then?
Well, the thing is, the person who is in the wrong, if they have more arms, they're not just going to protect a person who is being proven to be guilty, because as a prerequisite for getting the protection from that private insurance agency, they make you sign an agreement saying that you need to we are only going to protect you in the case so far as you don't violate the property rights of another person. And if you're proven to violate the property rights of another person, they'll be incentivized to refuse service to that person, because if they don't, then there will be other private insurance agencies that they'll have to go basically deal with, or potentially get in conflict with over one person.
I can pay them whatever's sufficient, right? Like my enterprise is profitable enough that I can pay them whatever's sufficient for them to overlook my petty indiscretions.
Well, then they could just, a lot of these private insurance agencies wouldn't just be on their own. A lot of them would probably have signed agreements with each other to back each other up in the case of a corrupt situation like that. So if you decide to rise up,
it'd be like a NATO kind of thing,
similar to that, but it would be done kind of privately.
They're gonna Article 5 my ass.
What's that? I don't know what that
NATO
is.
Article 5.
Wait, but
the declaration that says that like if one NATO
Now,
member goes to war,
listen,
the rest
you
of them
got to
have go to
understand,
war.
like, none of this, I mean, stuff has happened like this similarly in the real world, but a lot of this stuff is
Oh,
very
really?
theoretical. Yeah.
Like what?
Well, a lot of people say that medieval Iceland had
I
a
love this one.
a very similar situation. Now, I'm not a
Do you know about
historian.
medieval Iceland?
I'm
I
not.
know,
I
but
don't know.
so you want to know what's really interesting about medieval Iceland? The way that they operated were through blood feuds. So you would have, clans is how people were organized, and you had chieftains of these particular clans. Whenever there were disagreements, disputes between like families or chieftains, they were like multi-year blood feuds resulting in killing, and the violence was completely legal because the law that they enacted allowed for killing for like honor or revenge or payment of fines. If
Restitution.
somebody
You know what?
refused to like
That
pay
sounds like a-
fines, you could kill them.
That sounds like a very
Base, dude.
cool and
That's
rational way to
basic
organize.
All right.
Wait.
Sounds like a very good way to send
Some people say
society into
now,
chaos.
just
and
because they did some things that I would disagree with doesn't mean that they didn't have things that would be similar to what we would consider to be private arbitration and private enforcement of law. I mean, it's
But
not
here's the thing:
100%.
it wasn't similar at all because do you know about the kinship system in medieval Iceland? Like that was the basic unit of society. The way you would go about these like blood feuds would be related to your kinship ties.
Mhm.
So your kinship ties, like literally your family determined alliances and like your obligations and whatnot. So, your family could just mobilize entire alliances of like armed followers to back a relative in disputes, right? That would be the basis of dealing with things like
It's
legal
basically the mafia.
law prescribed monetary compensation or something, right?
It's like the mafia.
Well, the state is a mafia.
Yeah, basically, literally like the mafia. That's literally what it was. The blood feud, like they have a specific name in Icelandic for the kinds of blood feuds that organized because they were that common.
I
It's
don't
just
think so.
interesting that would be pointed
I
to
think
as
so.
an
That's
example.
not what I've read.
You should look into the blood feuds. Look up medieval Iceland blood feuds. That's like what they would do. It would be like multi-year feuds between families and alliances of families in order to settle disputes.
I don't know why we're denying this. Like blood feuds aren't endemic to all cultures. Like how Iceland.
I don't engage in blood feuds.
This is unique because you don't have a centralized authority. Like that is technically true, at least amongst everyone in medieval Iceland.
When T. Lawrence was running around Saudi Arabia with the Hashemites, they would mobilize their cousins to go kill a dude if somebody drunk out of their well because it was their property and
Well,
they
you
set
guys,
the law on their terms.
Well, I mean, either way, I mean, I feel definitely it could work theoretically, even if without any. I mean, slavery before slavery was abolished.
Capitalism can work in theory, but as soon as you put it into practice, like, geez,
that's it.
That's true. Yeah, kind of like communism, right?
There was a state and a bunch of corporations and monopolies and stuff. Like, whoa, geez.
Monopolies only happen under a statist system. Under a free market, monopolies.
So does capitalism.
No, we're not under. We're not under
We're
not under capitalism right now.
Oh yeah,
it's never real capitalism.
It's never been true capitalism. It's always it's not true capitalism. Which you guys?
I'm sorry. I didn't know that you guys had a different definition of capitalism that I did. I thought capitalism was the private ownership. Well, wait, I wasn't done. I wasn't even finished.
Okay, no,
I was just saying. Right. I thought private ownership was the owner. I thought capitalism was private ownership of the means of production.
Capitalism is not a state of affairs we seek to establish. It's the real movement of the means of production.
I don't. I just disagree with you.
The real movement of the means of production. We actually love that one. That's hilarious. But
the doctrine of the conditions of the liberation of the property owners.
the property owners. So I have a question for you, though.
The state does not
Sithis,
protect
because-
property rights. They violate property rights. They force us to pay into a system that we would otherwise not want to pay into. That's money that belongs to me.
But you know that isn't true, though, right? You already know that isn't true because you're critical of some of the property rights that the state maintains, such as intellectual property, right? So you already know what you're saying isn't true, correct?
Yeah, they don't protect property rights. They violate property rights.
Hold on. But I'm saying even the property rights that you disagree with, that the state does maintain, you acknowledge it exists, like intellectual property.
Intellectual
right?
property right is not property is not a property right. Because intellectual property
but
is not property.
But you know the state maintains intellectual property, correct?
And maintaining intellectual property is a violation of property rights.
Okay, that's fine. Do you also agree that the state maintains absentee ownership of resources?
What's that mean?
So, like, for example, the state will maintain that you can own a home that you've physically never seen before and never plan to use ever again. And they will use violence in order to enforce that.
I mean, whether or not that's an aggression depends on whether or not the person abandoned it. But if the person has abandoned it, if the person has abandoned it, wait a minute, let me finish.
That wasn't the question I asked.
I am going to answer it. I'm going to answer the question. Let me answer it.
Jesus
so
Christ.
I said if the person has abandoned it and the government is stopping another person from homesteading that land, that would be an aggression. Absolutely.
Wait, what does abandon mean?
That would mean that you're giving up control over a scarce resource that you were once in ownership of, had ownership over.
So are you saying you cannot own like a vacant home? You believe people cannot own vacant homes?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so I'm talking about a vacant home, all right, that you do not have the interest in ever occupying, right? The state maintains that you can. Oh my god!
It depends on if you abandoned it.
Okay, I hate this. All right. So
if it is abandoned, I don't have a problem with landlords.
That's not the question I asked. The state enforces landlordism as a property relation through violence, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's an example of the state maintaining property ownership. You just said they didn't, but that's just an example of them doing it.
Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah, but I wouldn't really consider the
That's not true property, right?
Wait, do you want to hear the answer? Or are you guys just gonna laugh every time I make? Because I don't. I'm not gonna be here if you guys are just gonna make fun of me and be rude to me. Honestly.
This is your room, dude.
I mean, I could leave if you want me. I'll just leave.
We're interested. No, we're interested in what you have to say.
Okay, because I'm not gonna do this if you guys are just gonna every time I say anything, because it's not really respectful, honestly. What I was going to say is that I don't even remember the question. Could you re-ask the question?
Okay, so I asked you, like, this being an example of the state guaranteeing and enforcing property ownership.
Oh yeah, sometimes the state protects property rights, but I would say it violates property rights too.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying the kinds of property relations that are that you advocate for have historically always been enforced by some sort of centralized polity, such as a state. You would agree?
Sometimes yes, but most of the time they violate. I would say most of the time.
Like, do you have
I would say the whole institution of the state is funded through theft. So I can't support the state just because the state, you know, uses its ill-gotten gains to protect property rights does not legitimize that, you know, that protection. You know, I still think if you use stolen money to protect other people, that's still an aggression because that's money that wasn't owed to.
Has rent ever been enforced through a mechanism that was not violence by some polity such as a state? Right? Like, is there some example?
I'm not disagreeing with you that the state enforces property rights. I'm just saying it also violates property rights by forcing us to pay into its state.
So
it's
without the state,
it's the dual character of the state.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's so you know, criminal organizations, you know, sometimes they take money from the rich and give to the poor, but I would not argue that they're justified in doing that. Like, you know, there was some Mexican cartels that went around giving $100 bills to poor people, but I would say they're still criminal.
So legitimately the question I'm going to have for you, right, is can you conceive of another way that you don't use something akin to state violence to enforce a property relationship that is landlordism?
Privatization.
Yeah, he's gonna
Right,
say
so-
that. He's gonna say that an anarcho-capitalist society would be.
Yeah, if you own a business and I hire another person to protect my property, whether it be an insurance
Are there
company
any are there any examples of like this, like the landlordism mechanism in particular, historically ever existing without something?
I couldn't give you. I'm not a. You know, if you want like historical examples, I have a friend of mine. His name is a taxationist theft. He could give you that. But
I talked to that guy, but he doesn't know too much about history either. But that's okay.
I mean, he knows more than me. But I'll tell you. But I will tell you that doesn't mean I'm not going to support it theoretically. Like, for instance, like I mean,
know that guy's a pedophile though too, right?
I don't think so. But can we move on? Can I go back to the point, please?
That wouldn't be illegal in the free market.
Let your pedo single white female son know I said hi. Can I ask a question?
Wait, are you calling me a pedophile?
No,
it's an inside joke. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay, because I've never done anything like that.
No, of course, I would never accuse you of that.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Do you think that the state can be abolished? Like, do you think that the state can essentially self-abolish by like some type of democratic process, or do you think that it would take a revolutionary movement to abolish the state?
I don't think we need revolution necessarily. I think that we can do it without revolution.
You think that, like, say we had like a big anarcho-capitalist, say we had like a big anarcho-capitalist party in Congress, and they like gained a majority, and they were like, all right, we're going to start abolishing different aspects of the state, and then ultimately
that would be cool. Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Yeah.
But do you think that's like an avenue that that's a political avenue that's like possible?
Probably not now, because like libertarians don't win anything, and I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, but like theoretically.
I mean, theoretically, it could work. Yeah, and I mean, theoretically, anything's possible. I mean, theoretically, a communist could become a presidential and make a communist party and make the communist country. But you know, do I see it happening? I don't know.
You said you're not opposed to the revolutionary route either, though.
Assuming that we follow the NAP.
Yeah, we can't violate the non-aggression. Something like that.
Right. Well, it wouldn't. That would be fine because it wouldn't require like dispossessing. But like, okay, so is
there something wrong with violating the NAP? I mean, supporting the NAP? I don't understand.
No. Wait. So
I don't know. You guys are kind of snarky about it.
Let's not get. I wasn't getting snarky. Let's not get.
Not you, but the other guy.
I was getting a little snarky. I could give you a criticism of the NAP.
Wait.
Well, let him go first.
I'm actually very curious about this. Say that like under the current arrangement, right? I run a big company and I get some kind of like state subsidy to do whatever with, right? And then tomorrow there's like a anarcho-capitalist, some type of transformation where the state is abolished or whatever. Is that like government subsidy I received the previous day? Is that my private property? Do I get to own that, and you're not allowed to like strip that from me, or is that like expropriated and redistributed?
Well, I guess it would depend on. Some people make. There's many angles you could take from this. There are some people who make the argument that
many angles.
There's a couple of angles some libertarians take with this argument. It's a good argument. First argument that I've heard from libertarians is no, it depends on whether or not you've been paying into the system. So for instance, I would say a person that has been paying into taxes, if they receive a subsidy that is less than what they pay into taxes, then I would say you're just getting back money that was already stolen from you. So, but if you're receiving more in subsidies than what you're getting taken from, then I would say you're taking money from people that doesn't belong to you, from money that doesn't belong to you.
Okay. Would you agree that property rights are socially constructed?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, if
I
you
just
do
personally,
get that
you
it's
know, I
socially
agree
constructed,
that
therefore it's not a natural right. One thing that the non-aggression principle does is it treats property as like this absolute mechanism, which we both agree that it's not. And this is the biggest issue. We talk about violation of property rights. That is so obscure and abstract. We're not detailing any specific kind of relation. You know, you would look
cuck
at something like,
capitalism. I just realized that's funny. Sorry, continue.
yeah, no, he's based. And you know, when you have the kinds of, you know, relations of intellectual property that you would fundamentally reject, this would be an example of property rights. But
I would
they're
disagree.
property rights that you disagree with.
Well, and here's the reason why, right? Us libertarians have a theory of property rights that I would say makes sense, one, and is consistent, two. Fundamentally, main reason why we are against intellectual property is because an idea is not a scarce resource. An idea.
No, I understand, right?
Yeah,
Can a process be a scarce resource?
No.
Okay.
No. Only
would you say then that there's
scarcity
an
can
infinite
there
amount
be
of processes that could occur, like physically?
Say what? Say what?
Is there an infinite amount of processes that could occur physically?
No. But
so then that would make it a scarce resource, right?
The idea of the process is not a scarce resource. The acting out of it is different because you have to use your body to act it out.
But that's the thing. There's different kinds of patents. Like you have process patents that are literally just regarding the process.
Yeah, but that's just an
creating
idea.
A particular good.
That's just an idea.
No, it's the process. It's not what? It's literally enacting the process that would violate the particular patent.
So if you patent a dance move, and I dance in the same dance move that you patented, you would argue that I'm violating your rights because I copied the same process.
This isn't about my argument, but do you understand the difference between like utility patents, design patents?
I understand the different reasonings for those different types of patents. I agree with that. I'm just saying they're both not scarce resources. They're not scarce resources. They are ideas. They are not physical objects. So there can be no property right in a non-scarce physical object. So copyrights.
Okay, define scarcity.
But
objects in which there can be conflicts over, and conflicts would be
okay, that's not even.
Do you mind if I clarify?
Wait. Go ahead.
Do you mind if I clarify the distinction? So he's not saying like that the idea or the blueprint or the design behind the process is patent, which very may well be, but the action or engaging in or the types of practices that are engaged in are patent. Like the types of labor or the knowledge behind these patents is practice.
I get the idea. I get the idea. Don't worry, I get the idea. I'm just saying that an idea for a process is not a scarce resource. For instance, if I have an idea,
in economic terms it is, but that's
wait. No. Let me give you an example. And you tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. So,
do you mind if
I come out with a no? Yeah, you could go after me. You could go after me. So what I was going to say is if you have a dance move and you patent that dance move, should I be barred from doing that process because you patented it?
Listen, this is not part of the question.
It is.
That does not matter.
No, it does matter because that would.
You are asking me a normative question. We are not discussing normativity.
But
obviously,
that is irrelevant to what we're talking about.
Bobby, relax for a minute. No, I do not believe in any of the capitalist private property laws. Do you understand? I believe.
I know that, but I'm telling you why I disagree.
Why would you ask me something regarding?
I'm explaining why I disagree. Why I disagree.
That's a question. You asked me a question on what my personal thoughts were. I'm detailing that, of course, my personal thoughts are in rejection and opposition to any of the capitalist.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Do you mind if I say something? And do you mind if I say something? You can find you can find an exception to the rule, but the rule still holds. And we can find a empirical example.
That's inconsistent.
We can find empirical. Yeah, sure. I don't agree with property rights, and I think your example is good. Now let's move on to the next thing, right?
Intellectual
so I can
property.
Show you, yeah, so I don't agree with intellectual property. I thought that's what you said. My bad, I misspoke. I don't agree with intellectual property either, and I think your argument is good. Now let's move on to something else. I can give you empirical examples of how processes or certain types of knowledge or certain types of processes in industrial manufacturing and processes become scarce in certain economies. Historically, in places like China and America.
An idea is not a scarce resource.
A process is, though.
It's an idea. That's an idea, and that's not a scarce resource.
So do you agree that? Do you
then
agree
answer my
that-
question.
wait,
Answer my
hold on,
question.
hold on,
Then
wait, hold on,
how about you answer my question back? Wait. No, wait. You guys asked me something, and I want to respond now.
No, wait. We did answer your question, so I just wanted to say: do you agree that the type of skill involved in being a doctor is more than flipping burgers?
Yes.
Do you agree that there are less doctors than burger flippers because of this?
Yes.
Would you acknowledge that doctors are scarce?
People with the knowledge of being a doctorhood is scarce. But the ideas within itself are not scarce. They are not physical objects. Show me an idea. It's not an object.
We're not talking about ideas. We're talking about the practices and the implementation.
Like I said, the doctors with the ideas are scarce. There's only few doctors around that have the idea.
Well, that's
in their
what
head.
we're talking about.
But
that's the only thing that matters.
Yes, but the idea within
what we're talking about.
But the idea within itself isn't a scarce resource.
You guys are kind of misunderstanding like the understanding of like Austrian scarcity, right? It's not that like you have like the amount of doctors in the world that understand that actually could be scarce. What Austrians are going to be talking about here would be that the knowledge itself has no barrier to entry, right? Like in order to like,
which is fine, but the process itself would. So like a process patent was the example. So like, okay, Jerkman, you would agree that scarcity would be defined.
So dancing patented dance moves are illegal. Should be illegal.
God damn it.
We're gonna have a disagreement.
All
we're
good.
gonna have a disagreement. We're gonna have a disagreement.
Hold the fuck up, bro. All right.
You hold. All right.
You agree that scarcity would be defined by having resources that are not unlimited, but having, human demand that is limited. Correct?
No, I would define a scarce resource as any physical object, an object in which there could be conflict.
Okay, this is stupid. Okay, all good. This is stupid.
So
how is that stupid?
That literally means nothing. That literally means nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing. Conflict means contradictory actions. As in my use of that good can't be used at the same time as you. So for instance, if I have a car and I take your car, my use of your use of that car can't be used at the same time as mine. So if I take it and drive away, then you no longer have a car. But if you have an idea and you tell me that idea, you still have that idea and I have the idea. So therefore, the idea that that you could take or steal an idea from another person is preposterous.
Right. Because what you're talking about
is not theft.
Right?
Copying is not
property.
theft.
Okay. You're talking about property. Okay, yeah.
Well,
you're not
can't have it.
Here, check it out. So your understanding of property is just regarding exclusivity, right?
Of scarce resources, yes.
You can't have a notion of theft without property.
Yeah.
Having
copying is not theft. You can't have a notion of theft if there's no thing. So for instance, if you tell me an idea or a joke and I say that joke to my friend and we all laugh about it because I told you that joke and I told Dark Karl Marx, I'm like, hey, Dark Karl Marx was the guy that told me the really funny joke. There's nothing that was in your possession that was forcefully extracted from your possession.
But why do you hold on. This is fine. Okay. I understand that you have this conception of property that's regarding exclusivity, okay? But why do you cling to it? What is the reason?
Because only in scarce resources can property rights be applicable.
That's not even true, dude. Okay, this is stupid. You're okay. Like we already agreed that property rights are a social construct, If they are socially constructed, the social relations are completely dependent upon material conditions within a given society, correct?
Sure. But again,
Okay.
this is how I
if
view
that
property.
is the case, then
Property,
I know.
again,
I'm asking,
everyone has
why
a...
do you view it this way? Why do you cling to this notion of property rights?
Because
What's
I
the
believe in the
reasoning?
non-aggression principle.
Oh my gosh, this is the circular fucking logic, dude. I'm
Why do I believe in this
asking,
version of property rights? Because I believe in the non-aggression principle, and to believe in the non-aggression principle, you have to believe in property rights. And the libertarian version, and I agree with the libertarian.
Okay, that makes no sense.
How does that makes no sense?
How could land not all be held with common ownership, and the non-aggression principle, as you understand it, not still be upheld?
Because can two people exclude each other from the same land at the same time?
Oh my god! Holy fuck, dude! You are crazy. I pointed out the circularity in your logic.
Ridiculous question?
Because how do you not see the circular nature of what you're describing?
Ownership is the right to control.
I granted that's how you defined property. I'm asking, why do you accept this notion of property rights? And you're like, well, because it's exclusive.
I'm a libertarian.
Oh my gosh, Jesus fucking Christ! This is incredible. This guy is fucking. This guy, dude.
This guy. That's all I hear.
Understand that
you said because I'm a libertarian. What?
Yeah, why do you accept? Why do you believe in your version of property? Why are you against property?
Which means that he necessarily excludes, or which necessarily means he excludes certain standards, or has a certain. God damn it! I fucking forgot.
Yeah. All right. The reason I'm opposed to capitalist private property relations is because it is not beneficial to most people living within a given society, right? It necessarily excludes.
Oh, well, I hold the deontological view of the non-aggression principle. That's why I believe in my property rights.
You're actually insane. You're insane.
That's not an argument. Calling me insane is not an argument.
Everything I'm saying.
It's not an argument. That's not an argument. It's not an argument. Give me an argument.
Why did I call you insane?
Because you're insane.
No, because you continually interrupt me when I'm in the middle of giving an explanation for a particular thing, and you're like,
yeah, because you're giving a consequentialist argument, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna give a consequentialist argument, I'll just give my deontological argument, which is I believe in the non-aggression principle. There you go, boom.
Okay, and why do you believe in the non-aggression principle?
Because I don't like the idea of people being forced to do things against their will. Or against their, I just don't like the idea of being forced.
How does that connect to common ownership of land, for example? How is anyone forced to do anything against their will?
Because two people can't both have the right to exclude each other from a same scarce resource. And ownership is the right to exclude another person from a scarce resource.
Dude, there's
two people can't have the right to have the right
again. It's insane.
To exclude each other from a scarce resource. So, for instance,
you keep asserting that this is the
I could give an example. I could give an example.
Okay, it's all good, dude.
You were just getting all upset. Well, you called me insane when I interrupted you for 1 second, and then you're interrupting me every 5 seconds. So what I was going to say is that if let's say both of us say we both own a plot of land, and I want to piss on it and you want to poop on it, but you don't want me to poop. I don't want you to poop on it, and you don't want me to piss on it. Who has the right to exclude the other? Hello? Are you guys there?
That was the stupidest fucking question I've ever heard. Obviously, everyone can pee and poop on land. This is so stupid. What are we talking about?
That's not what Okay, so I'll say the question again. So one person
are on drugs.
Yes. So let's say there's a person that wants to pee. There's two people that own a land, right? One person wants to pee on the land, right? And the other person doesn't want that person to pee on the land, right? Who has the right to exclude the other from that land?
What? Dude, if there's land held in common ownership, no one can stop you from peeing on it.
So then nobody has the right to so you're meaning to say in common ownership, and are you meaning to say in common ownership there's no disputes over land?
Okay, do you know what the commons is?
I'm asking you a very specific question. That question is, do you believe that if there's communal land, the people within that communal land aren't going to have disputes over what's going to happen over that land?
People could have.
That's a yes or no question.
Yeah, they would have.
Okay, so they would have disputes.
Dis-
They would have disputes. Okay, so let's
Sure,
say
they would
in
have
this communal, let's say in this situation, there's person A, and then there's person B. Person A wants to pee on the land. Person B doesn't want them to pee on the land. Who has the right to exclude the other?
I mean, they violated my non-aggression principle by peeing on the land in this instance.
Now you get to shoot.
So you guys are copping out, I guess, because you don't have an answer.
I mean, my answer
Dude,
is
I already have an answer, right? This is pretty easy. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So common ownership necessarily means shared control of resources,
Bad
so they
faith
serve
retards.
collective needs. That being said, anybody who wants to pee on land is able to pee on land.
Genuinely.
Okay, so
fuck
therefore
these
the person
commies.
who wants to pee on the land
They
would have
aren't
the
with
right
it.
to exclude the other
Worth it.
person if they tried to stop them from peeing on the land.
Exclude the other person? No.
So, for
what are you
instance,
talking
if
about?
I tried to pee on the land and that person tried to stop me, I would have the right to stop them from stopping me from peeing on the land.
Yeah, so if you are peeing and someone attacks you, yes, you can defend yourself.
So, therefore, that would
crazy?
contradict the idea that that person has the right over the land, because if they both have the right over the land, ownership being the right to control a scarce resource, that would mean that he would have the right to stop me from peeing on the land. But
has
if you
defined
have
ownership
the
this way
right,
ever?
if you have the right to stop that person from peeing on the land, that would mean that the person who is able to stop him from peeing on the land, that would mean that that person is the.
what
Wait,
would
whoa!
happen is-
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
Just so
I don't want to be rude to you guys. I'm not trying to be rude to
We're
you
not
guys.
trying to be rude to you. It's just very silly what you're going on.
I
Like, we
mean,
get
but
what you're
it's-
trying to say.
Okay,
and it
so
would be
if
a
one
good point
now
if we
you
were saying
keep
that.
going. Now you keep going. I didn't even finish.
Alright.
You're crazy, dude.
You can call me crazy all you
These
want.
fucks
That's not an
won't
argument.
recognize
I want to
that.
after I'm finished. I don't want to hear you're crazy. You're retarded. I want to hear a straight answer to my argument. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my argument. There's two people. One wants to pee.
They're
The
incompetent
other one
slash
doesn't
bad
wants to
faith.
pee. Right. The first one who wants to pee has the right. That would mean if he wants to pee, that person would have the right to stop the other person from stopping him from peeing on the land. That would mean, because ownership is the right to control a scarce resource, that would mean the person who doesn't want him to pee no longer has the right to exclude him from peeing on that land, thus contradicting the idea that he is also the owner of that land. Now I'm done.
So it would be based on use. So if I'm using this land to pee, you can pee in this land. If this is land used for pee, but if it's not land used for pee, so if you're misusing this area, we can all say this is bad.
That's so retarded.
Stop
So how do you
using them.
determine-
2 seconds.
So how do you determine it's a land for peeing, or not a land for
So-
peeing?
We would put bathrooms in these areas where they're for peeing.
Okay, let's say somebody wants to pee on the ground, and the other person doesn't want them to pee on the ground, right? Who has the right to exclude the other from the exclude other person's action?
So clean it up and don't go to jail. That's like what I would say. Clean it up and don't go to jail. If you believe in jail, I believe in.
Do you guys
societal
do you really
punishment.
not understand the question that I'm asking you guys, or
No, I do understand what you're saying.
can
and
you
I
say
think
back
if
to
you're
me what I
peeing-
just asked you?
I understand what you're saying, and I think if somebody's peeing on the ground, you have the right to stop them.
Okay, so then that would contradict the idea that the person who doesn't want him to pee on the floor is also the owner, because
Why
that
would you
mean
get punished for
they are
using
no
land you
longer
have a right to?
the person who has
Am
the
I
right to
crazy,
exclude
Jake?
the other
Am I
person from
crazy,
the.
Jake? Am I crazy for saying, like, if somebody's peeing on the ground, you have the right to stop them?
It depends on who's the owner of the ground.
It's so he's the owner of the ground, guys.
Of that ground.
Also,
I mean, if I'm the owner of
But isn't it
some
the
land and I'm
individual's
okay with you
land
peeing
too?
on it, then it's okay. But if you're the owner and you don't want me to pee on it, then it's not okay. But if we're both the owner and one of us wants to pee on it and the other one doesn't want to pee on it, who has the right? That's where property rights come
This is
in.
Austrian Econ 301, by the way.
So I think you can use
101.
it. I think you can use it up.
So
until the
therefore,
point
you're
of it.
contradicting the idea that the person who doesn't want him to
think you
pee is the
I
owner.
think
So
you
thus
can-
meaning
I think you
that the
can-
person who does want to pee is the owner now.
I think you can
I have a
use it up
question.
until the point of
Sure,
destruction.
Karl Marx, because you seem to be a little more coherent than the other guy. respectfully.
How am I not
Do you believe
coherent?
that, for example, like if we were to look historically, people that held land in common, just nobody.
Do you not
owned
understand what I'm
anything in those
arguing?
society. Oh my
Am I?
gosh, Jesus fucking Christ! I'm calling 911. Here we go.
Do you not
think you
understand
are
what I'm
allowed
to
arguing,
ask you a
Karl Marx?
question.
I
I can't
think
even
you are
ask
allowed.
you a question. Okay, dude.
You asked me, do you not believe that people have done this throughout history? Yes,
Bro,
I do believe that people have claimed to own land.
What was the question? What was the
colonially.
question? That's not even the question. Okay.
Okay, then
Can
ask
I
the
ask you the
question.
question and then you can respond?
Well, you got all upset. Go ahead.
Cool. Okay, so do you think, for example, societies throughout history that used common ownership of goods, do you believe that nobody in that society owned anything?
I'm just saying that collective ownership isn't legitimate because there could only be one person who has the right to exclude another person from a scarce resource.
No, I understand what you're saying.
In the case of a piece of land, if I want to pee on the piece of land and you don't want me to pee on that land, obviously only one of us would have the right to exclude the other from the action. So the idea that we both have that right would be ridiculous in the sense that, because fundamentally property rights are there to settle disputes over scarce means. So if I have a dispute over your body because you're the property right owner of your body, you would be the one that wins out. So assuming you haven't initiated force against me in the first place. So if we both own your body, well then, and we both have a dispute over that resource, then that property right doesn't tell us who has the right in that dispute.
Okay, so obviously, when things are held collectively, it is people as a collective that make decisions regarding how the property is being used.
Okay,
Do you
so
understand
then,
that?
so tell me how they would deal with the guy peeing on the thing and the guy not wanting to pee on the thing, because it seems like you're incapable of.
Because if there was a previous
that out.
agreement to not use the property in that way,
then
right?
that would contradict the idea that the person who doesn't want the person to pee on it is the owner.
What are you talking about, dude?
Because if there is a previous agreement saying that everyone is allowed to pee on the ground, then and I am the owner, quote unquote, the owner of that land as well as the other people, and I say I don't want you, and I say I don't want you to pee on the ground, and I say I don't want you to pee on the ground, then that would basically contradict the idea that I am the owner because I no longer have the right to exclude you from that scarce resource.
Okay. Yeah, so throughout particular collective societies, you would have agreements that are made prior to any action being done with the particular land.
Mm-hmm.
And then those agreements that are made, if people break said agreements, then of course there are going to be consequences for breaking said agreements regarding the property.
Got you. Then that would contradict the idea that they are the owner as well, because if they are the owner, that would mean they would have the right to exclude the other person from that
Dude,
property and a dispute.
What are you talking about?
Well, because again, ownership is the right to control a scarce resource, and two people can't control a scarce resource at the same time.
Why do you cling to this definition of ownership? What is it informed by?
Because that's the ownership. That's the definition of ownership.
By who? Where is this informed by?
It's not about who. It's about whether or not it's right. And it is right. It's informed by scarcity. The fact that we live in a world. Do we live in a world of scarcity, Karl Marx? Dark Karl Marx?
This is stupid. All right. How is this definition informed, and how can a definition be right?
Because we live in a world of scarcity, and we have to have some way of settling disputes in scarce resources.
Jerkman, whose man's is this? Is this your man's, bro?
Who?
This is crazy.
That's not a response. Is this really your response to my argument? Is this your man's? Like, is that really your argument?
You don't have an argument.
That is my. I'm giving you my argument. You just don't like my argument, Jerkman. What am I saying is wrong? Am I saying anything wrong here?
I'll moderate. I'll moderate a little bit.
No, tell me if what I'm saying is wrong, Jerkman. I'm not asking you to
moderate.
moderate.
Your definition of ownership. What is it informed by? And then you said
it's informed by scarcity. It's informed by the fact that we live in a world of scarcity.
You can't posit a definition and then not like explain why it's the better definition of.
I just did.
So that's where the debate needs to go. Then is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because we live in a world of scarcity, and there could only be one person who could have. And when we talking about right, that would mean the exclusive, some sort of exclusive, right to, or
Well, is there
agreement to
enough
something.
land for all existing human beings today? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So how is this connected to your understanding of scarcity?
Because two people can't own the same scarce land.
Yeah, why can this is circular again? How
I've
do you not get that
explained
this
this
is
like
circular?
5 times. Dude, I'm not going to explain this to you again. Jerkman, if you want to explain this to him, you can, but I'm not going to go over this again.
Wait till they find out about marriage. They're going to be really embarrassed.
I've never been married.
Oh
Never
no,
had a
I literally
girlfriend.
had an AnCap argue with me about marriage, and they said, "Yeah, when you're married, only one person technically."
You just have
owns
to
the
look
home.
up
Two people
libertarian
can't.
property theory. You just have to look up libertarian
When
property
you're
theory.
married, you own your wife like property.
Cam, please help me out here. And what am I saying is what I'm saying crazy. Two people obviously can't own the same scarce resource, right?
You're not positing it correctly, right?
No.
So it's not the same scarce resources. Like, I believe Hoppa would have said.
Now you speak up.
Hoppa would.
Well, I don't believe these things. I just I know the theory.
Okay.
Hoppa would have said these N words. Hoppa would have said.
So would Karl Marx. So would have Karl Marx, right?
Hoppa, Hans Hermann.
As far as I heard, Karl Marx didn't really like black people neither. So
Hans Hermann Hoppe would have said, "Cracker, I don't give a damn." Like,
although I don't agree with, I don't condone anything that the racial things that he believes in. I'm not a racialist or whatever.
No, but Sithis, okay, do you understand how it's circular when you keep presupposing your definition of ownership when I'm inquiring why you're using that definition?
I told you why. I told you why. I literally told you why.
Hold on, it's literally just a definition.
I'm telling you, I told you the reason why we use that definition is because
guys.
You're fucking.
You have a problem with my idiosyncratic definitions that nobody fucking uses?
Guys.
Yours?
Wait, Cam, one sec.
Cam,
Guys, Dark, please, 1 sec, please. I am the owner of the room.
He's the one.
Cam,
who's trying.
Cam, I'm on your side, bro. Please.
I'm not. You're letting him.
Listen, got you. I don't worry. I'm gonna let you go.
He's doing complete bullshit right now.
I know. But you guys gotta calm. Guys, I will start muting people if you do not shut up. So. We are not going to insult each other. We are not going to call each other retarded. We are not going to be rude to each other. We are going to say each other's points, one person at a time.
I use the R word
please.
Once, I'm just saying.
So, Cameron, I understand what's going on, and I get it, but we got to try to keep it one at a time, okay? Please. Now, Cam, go ahead.
No, I already said what I had to say.
Okay. Dark, did you want to say something?
Cool. So are you familiar with the logical fallacy that is referred to as begging the question? Okay, where your premise presupposes your conclusion.
When you asked me that question, what was my answer?
Which question? I asked you a bunch of questions.
You asked me why do I believe in that definition of ownership, right? You asked me that. What was my answer?
Yes, you said so. Here was your definition of ownership was in regards to exclusivity of using a particular resource. I asked why you believe in that definition of ownership, and you said because resources are scarce, which of course just presupposes what we're talking about is things.
Yeah, and there was another part
to
it. So the other part to it is that when you have to have every single person in this world has some sort of theory of property, right? And the libertarian theory of property is that fundamentally nobody has the right to initiate any force against any innocent person. And the only way in which we can figure out whether or not someone's initiated force is by having some clear way of delineating who is the owner of that scarce resource. If two people can claim to be the owner of the same scarce resource, if they have a dispute over that resource, there would be no way to settle that dispute in any consistent manner, just like you said before. So for instance, when I gave you the argument before, I asked you, hey, if somebody pees, there's two guys and they own the same land, and one wants to pee on the land, the other one does not want to pee on the land, and they both are the owners, who would have the right to exclude the other? You said the one would have the right to pee on the floor. So I said that would then contradict the idea that you believe that both of them have the right to exclude the other in a dispute. So it seems to me that my theory of ownership is completely consistent, but it seems like your theory of ownership is completely inconsistent because you're incapable of giving me any way of settling this dispute without making it so that one is forced to exclude the other when there is a dispute, which would then contradict the idea that both have the right to exclude the other.
Just say it doesn't matter.
I mean,
Your
it's
claim
not
is
really based
descriptive
on a
and not
negative
responding to
standard of
property
property
ethics.
rights.
Your
It's not really that
presuppositions
anyone
are
is
insane.
exclusionary, just as long as you're not dominating anybody in this instant, and that you have the right to use the land with regard to its destruction. As long as you're not destroying it, it's okay to use it. Now,
You can even posit a question similar to this. You could say like you have communal ownership of like two people, just to make it easy. One wants to make it a factory of dildos, and one wants to make it a factory of pocket pussies, right? Who would have the right in conflict?
That's easy. You make one half a dildo factory and one half a pocket pussy factory. Problem solved.
But both of them want to make the full factory what they want. So doing that wouldn't settle the dispute.
Like, no, you're assuming that the dispute has to be settled, right? Like,
well, that is the hypothetical. We're asking you how they would settle the dispute.
Coming in like this whole theory of property thing, as you framed it, is intrinsic to the discussion, but really that's a preloaded theory you brought in. Like, communists don't think of it that way, right? So we don't have to play your game of mitigating individual
incapable of
so you guys, your property theory is incapable of settling disputes over scarce means whenever it comes.
It's just like inconsistent.
So you have it. So basically, your guys are admitting that you have an incomplete property theory. You guys have a completely incomplete property theory.
You guys don't even believe in like a centralized body which can arbitrate.
Well, you guys do believe in property.
Why the fuck would we believe in
do you guys not believe in self-ownership?
You mean like?
Do you have the? Okay, let me put it this way.
That's different.
Let me put it this way. Do you have the right to let's say if I was to come up to you and I tried to stab you unprovoked, obviously.
You don't have rights, bitch. This is the jungle.
Would you have
jungle out here? There's no rights.
Hold on. Let me get the question out. I know you're messing around, but let me get the question out. Let's say somebody. Wait. Stop. So. One
yeah,
sec.
you mentioned autonomy.
Okay. Next person that interrupts me while I'm speaking will be server muted. Respectfully, I do want this to be like listenable later when I listen to myself because I'm such a narcissist. So, what I was going to say is that you guys have an incomplete property theory in the sense that you guys are incapable of settling a dispute when it comes to this communal ownership. There's no way to settle the dispute. How do you guys explain this?
Do you think that the United Kingdom has an incomplete property theory when they say that a crime is committed against the subject of a queen, and that's why it's therefore illegal?
Yes.
Okay, I think this is just retarded.
But I demonstrated to you guys how, and you guys agreed with me that you guys have an incomplete property theory.
No, we didn't. Like, we acknowledge that property exists, but I don't think self-autonomy is an equivocation to internal property rights that are manufactured and established by a state.
Ownership is the right to control a scarce resource. Can we both agree with that?
I cannot, no.
Why would you define ownership then?
Ownership has developed over time. The definition of ownership has developed.
Yeah, but how would you define it? Like personally?
I would say broadly, ownership is defined by a monetary circuit of money, which transforms itself into a certain commodity, and then ownership is a relationship defined by capital and constant capital. ownership is a relationship.
Wait, okay. You're gonna have to dumb this down for me a little bit. How do you guys define ownership? I needed like a concrete argument answer for this.
There's different types of ownership. That's what I was trying to tell you before. Like owning your body is not the same as real estate, which is the thing that communists generally care about, right? Like property that you can't physically hold yourself. And we're just talking past each other and committing equivocation fallacies when you just conflate those ideas of property.
What
right?
are the different
I know, but the only reason why I muted you was because I wanted to finish my word out. So just that's it. So what I was going to say is that how I define ownership, right, is you having the right to control a scarce resource, right? That's how I define ownership. Now I know you guys have a different view on that, but
can I finish my sentence, KingSithis? You're not affording.
I thought you were done. Continue, please. I thought you were done.
I would like to say because I haven't finished my point.
Okay, how about this? Final form goes first, and then artifacts you go next. How about that?
I appreciate it.
And do reject the idea.
Wait, say that again. Your microphone is a little muffled, bro.
Hold on. Let me fix that. All right, hopefully that should help a bit. Anyways, communists can and do reject the idea of property, and because it's a consensual society where they're all working towards the same goal, there's no major disputes. And if there are, it's not a dispute over what should ultimately be done. It's just implementation disputes. And that is not the same, like having disputes is not the same as landlordship, right? And it's just weird to say that we have to do the capitalist thing. Like our brains don't work unless we think like capitalists. Like, capitalism's only been around for a very small portion of human history. And for most of human history, nobody owned anything. So communism is the majority model. So this whole line of thinking just doesn't make sense. I've said my piece now.
Okay. Artifacts?
I was going to say that ownership in capitalism is defined by a specific social relationship to capital. That being ownership over means of production, the ability to produce things, the means that people use to produce the things that people consume. The things that people want to produce, the methods in which they employ to produce these things, and through the satisfaction of their needs, they gain money, which they use to influence the market or purchase labor power to create a circuit of money, commodity money, which is the specific ownership relationship that defines capital and is specific to the bourgeois class by which we define ownership. It is the social relationship specific of MCM that defines capitalism. And this is what we call the bourgeois, and this is what we call ownership.
Okay, so here's how us libertarians define ownership, okay? Or us AnCappers, all right? Now, let me know. Do you want to go?
You already told them like 8 times.
Okay, well, ownership is the right to control a scarce resource. Now, I'm going to tell you how this applies to your body. This applies to your body because I believe that you have the right to exclude other people so long as you have not initiated an aggression from your body. So for instance, if somebody was to try to come up to you and stab you unprovoked, I would argue you would have the right to exclude that person from your body. Would you guys all agree with me on that?
Do you have the right to voluntarily alienate yourself from your body at any instance?
Essentially, like you have the right to exclude other people from your body when you have not harmed anyone.
Where does that right come from?
Do you have the right to exclude yourself from your body? Can I alienate myself from myself?
Well, do you believe that? I'm just asking. You're asking me back a question, and I don't even know your answer.
I can answer this. All right. There's an objective link between your action and your body. It is impossible to alienate yourself from your body.
I agree. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I know. So I just want to know if you guys agree that.
Still doesn't mean it's not property.
Yeah. So I just want to know if you guys agree that if somebody tried to stab you guys would have the right to exclude that person from stabbing you, right?
Rights are something given by the
like
state.
a legal right that the state tells me I have.
What do you think?
I don't know. Like, what do you mean by that?
Do you think you have a right to stop some? Do
bachelor
you
right?
think you have a right to stop someone from stabbing you? Just quick question.
Like under U.S. law, like
Not under the U.S. law. I'm not
absolutely.
talking about just philosophically.
In like an abstract sense, probably not.
Yeah. What do you think the law should be? Do you think the law should be,
Well, that's a different question. That's not abstract anymore. 'cause
Oh
of
my
concrete
goodness.
action.
Do you really not? Are you seriously acting like you don't know what I'm asking you?
No, well, you were asking.
No, he
it
really
in a-
doesn't. You're asking in a very vague way.
I want to ask
You
you.
need more
You're asking a
specific.
you're asking a strange question because you're
Not a
asking me to like believe in a particular abstraction, but you won't.
Is it wrong to extract wealth? Is it wrong for the proletariat to extract wealth from the bourgeoisie?
I don't even know what do you mean?
Is it
wait,
wrong
are you
for the
not a communist?
bourgeoisie?
I
It's wrong for
assumed I assumed everyone in here was a communist because.
So, do you believe that people can voluntarily alienate themselves?
Well, yes, that's what I'm
I was already
arguing. I'm asking you. Do you believe that?
So no, because you can't. And somebody argued for this earlier and said no. Why you can't?
Okay,
do
so
this.
then you do believe that
Right.
if somebody
Let me
came up
ask
to
you a
you and
question.
tried to stab you, you would say, that's okay. Go ahead, stab me.
No, if they stab me, I would literally say no because I can't voluntarily alienate.
Okay, so
myself.
then you're basically
Check it
saying
out,
that
check it out.
you
I'm an
believe
ape
you
in
would
the
have.
jungle,
Wait,
and
wait, wait!
another
Stop!
ape
Do
wants
not
to pull
interrupt.
another
Do
ape
not
wants to pull
interrupt,
my arms
please.
off.
Do not interrupt, please.
Okay.
So, my argument is, I'm just merely asking you a very simple question: do you have the right to stop somebody from stabbing you? It's
Yes.
just yes or no.
Yes,
Okay.
you do.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
you
that
do.
would mean that you believe that you have the right to exclude other people from your body when you have not initiated an aggression, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So then you would agree with my definition of self-ownership, you guys, right?
I would agree that you're defining self-ownership in this way.
Okay. So when you have some sort of property, let's say you go out and you buy your house, would you have the right to exclude another person from, say, burning down your house?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so then that would mean that you believe in property and at least in personal property, I would assume, right?
In the way you're defining it,
I would assume you would differentiate between personal and private property, I assume. Or am I incorrect in that assumption?
so listen,
Mhm.
you're asking me, you're saying, I got up in the morning and I painted a fence and I built this shack in it and I live in it and I'm calling this my house. Do you agree that this is my house? And I'm like, well, you called it your house. So yeah.
Well, I would
This is just-
assuming that you got your house through just means, and us libertarians, this is how we believe the just way of getting property. The just way of getting the just way of getting property under the libertarian ethic is one, through homesteading, which would be mixing your labor with some sort of unowned property, and then there would be consensual transaction, which would be
Why'd
I
y'all
give you
mute
this for
Jacob's
that.
ladder?
Huh?
Why'd y'all mute Jacob's ladder? Unmute him.
All right, I'll unmute him, but he was kind of talking while I was talking.
I'm sorry,
That's
but I
okay.
had a point to make. Do you think that like in a like I'm not one to believe in a state of nature, but like in a state of nature, quote unquote, like is the monkey who defends himself from another monkey doing so on the basis of their own personal self-ownership and property rights? I don't think so.
Well, I would say monkeys
right?
are a little bit. They're not as smart as humans, so they can't really grasp. As far as I could tell, they can't grasp the understanding of property
Can we
rights.
just finish? Let's just finish the train of conversation you were trying to go down. So you said, right, if I have a house, I have the right to exclude somebody from it.
Mhm.
I said, sure. Yeah. All right, let's say sure. Yeah, let's go with that. And then you said, I agree with personal property rights now. From the way you're defining it, I guess, yeah, in this context, yeah, I do. All right.
You know
Now,
what
let's
personal,
keep
you know
going.
what I mean when I say personal private property, because you guys are Marxist, right?
Okay. All right. Now let's keep going.
Okay. So, you guys are Marxists, right? Like, am I crazy for saying that? Okay.
Well, I'm a Marxist.
Okay.
Jacob's
So-
ladder is something.
Jacob, are
I
you
don't
a
know.
Marxist?
I'm a Marxist.
Okay, no problem. I was just going to
JJ
say,
Communist.
so then that would mean that you at least believe in personal property, and then private property, which would mean basically any scarce resource that is a capital good, which generally creates some other good scarce resources that are used in
Wait a minute.
production, in the means of production, which would mean like
Wait a minute.
what?
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
What was the first question you asked?
I didn't ask a question.
The question you asked before you asked about the house thing. What was the first question you asked?
I asked you if you owned if you had the right to exclude another person from stabbing you.
Yeah. I asked you. You have the right to exclude another person from stabbing you. I say yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just
You
starting
said,
off
okay.
from the
No, wait,
self-ownership.
Stop.
Mhm.
Right. So you said, first off, if somebody stabs you, right, you have the right to defend. Well, first off, you said if somebody stabs you, you have the right to exclude them. I said, sure. Yeah. And then you said, do you believe in self-ownership then? Okay. Well, if in this context, self-ownership means you have the right to exclude somebody from stabbing you, then I believe in self-ownership in the way that you're defining it, right? Let's move on to the second point. Then you said, if somebody pees in your house, you have the right to kick them out. I said, yeah, sure. Then you said, okay, then you believe in personal property and the way that you're defining it. Sure, I agreed. Now you're saying that property is exclusive ownership over is no, you didn't say
I was
exclusive.
talking. I was going out to
Property-
private
wait,
property.
No, stop. Then you said property. Or wait, so you're just talking about different types of property then? You're just describing things?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next thing then. Go to the
Yeah,
next
I was
thing.
going out to private property, which would be the Marxist definition of private property. And correct me if I'm wrong, it would be something used in the means of production, like a factory or the things, the manufacturing equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Ownership.
but it's not the physical object. It's like the social relationship that the object enters into when it's used for production for extraction of surplus value.
Define private property for me now.
Well, it would be any sort of scarce resource that is used is like some capital resource that is owned by somebody that is used in the means of production. I know that's maybe not the best definition, but that's generally what it means.
Can you just define your concept of private property?
My process? Well, I don't differ. Me personally, I'm a libertarian, so I don't differentiate between personal or private property.
Oh, okay. Then you're just begging the question on all types of property.
So I'm trying to, so I'm just trying to, so first I got you to admit that you believe in personal property, self-ownership. Then you also believe in personal property. Now I'm describing what private property is, and then now I'm trying to see if you could agree with people owning private property.
All right, go ahead.
Now, I don't need to say what private property is again anymore, right?
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
So private property is a scarce resource that is owned by somebody that is used in the means of production. Usually some business owner.
Wait, are you a Marxist now?
No.
All right, anyways,
I'm an AnCap.
what about...
Wait, why would I have to...
Stop. So what about this implies personal property or...
No, I'm merely describing what private property is.
Yeah, so what about this implies either of the two definitions of property you gave earlier? How are they related?
They're different. You guys define it in different ways.
No, we don't.
You guys don't?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Are you sure about that?
We don't even define a concept of personal property.
Are you sure about that, Jacob's ladder?
So you don't believe in any
What's
property?
that? Sorry.
Do you guys not differentiate between personal and private property?
It's well, like we don't really think that like the word property is an adequate descriptor of like what people call personal property. So like generally, this is seen as kind of a category error. Where, like when we talk about property in general, in like Marxist terms, we're talking about property as an objective social relation entered into, and like a shared abstract conception of like.
But you guys do differentiate
So-
between personal and private property, correct?
I don't know. You tried to get me, like, you were trying to get me to agree.
Oh my
to the
god, you guys are
definition.
killing me.
Hold on.
Wait, what? Did it not make sense? What I
Hold
said?
on.
No,
I
I understand what you're saying, but that's not what I asked you. I merely asked you if you guys differentiate between personal and private property. That's a yes or
Okay,
no
I don't
question.
think they do. I don't think they do.
We
So
don't
no?
have a
I don't think I do.
concept.
So is that
we
a
don't
no?
we don't have a concept of personal property. It's not a relevant category within the theory.
So then if somebody tried to burn down your house, you would say that's perfectly fine because you don't have a concept of property.
No, it's not. But like, why are you all you AnCaps are so quick to jump to like, well, there's like a moral component to this, which is like I don't have the right to.
It's
burn
not
down
about
the
moral.
house. It's personal.
It's not
It is
moral.
about moral. It is about
It's
moral.
merely
because, like,
about
because
whether
in
or
your
not you have the right
example,
to.
That's rights are
Well,
moral
property is
categories,
based on a
Like,
right. Is a right,
If
right?
you violate a right, that would be immoral. Yes.
So what
But-
about the
It's a
first
moral
Okay.
category.
So,
Okay,
I have a
so
question. I have a question.
Yeah.
What about your first principle? Your first proposition makes it property. What about
because
your
you have,
second?
do you not
proposition?
have the right to do you have the you both agreed with me that you
Right.
have the right to exclude other people from your body, right?
I agree
I
that you
didn't-
have the
no, I
right
didn't
to exclude somebody from your body, but what makes that property?
Because ownership is the right to exclude another person from a scarce resource, and your body is a scarce resource.
So is that what you're? Wait.
Is your
So you've defined ownership as like a right, an abstract right enforced by who? It's not law. It's not the law.
It's not
so
about
it's,
enforcing.
It's illegal.
It's about
It is legal.
it's a
It's
legal
not-
right,
it's
but it's
not
not
a legal
about.
right. It's not a legal
It's a
right. It's an
legal theory.
abstract right. Right.
This is our
So
legal
you don't
It's a
believe in
theory
right?
about-
Wait, are you meaning to tell me you guys
It's a
don't believe
theory
in
about what
rights?
should
Do you guys believe in rights? Yes or no?
This is the Marxist position.
Do you
is
believe
that
in rights? Yes or
rights-
no? I just want a yes or
because
no.
This is the Marxist
No.
position that rights
No,
are
you don't
abstraction,
believe in
right?
rights?
No, I don't believe.
Not-
it.
Okay,
in-
so
not
if
in the
somebody
same
came
sense
up to you and
legally.
tried to rape your ass, you would say, "Oh, I don't have the right to stop them." That's okay.
That's okay. That's a different thing from
No.
not
Do
believing
you
in it.
no?
Like, there's this
A
thing,
right
like,
is a
the
what? How
actions, actions and
what is a
abstractions
right?
are different
What
things,
is a
right?
right?
Like, I don't believe in an abs. Do you believe
What
in
is
an
a right?
abstract error?
How do you define a right?
You obviously have an idiosyncratic definition.
How do you
of
define
what
a right? I'm asking
Not
you.
really.
How do you define a
So-
right?
Rights are
Usually rights are associated with legal
Rights.
systems.
Okay, I
right?
could
With
tell you
systems of
how I
law.
Yeah,
define a
it's our
right.
legal- it's our
I could
legal
tell you
system.
how
Right.
I define a right, and you guys tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Okay? A right is
Okay.
an action that ought not be impeded.
No, that's a categorical imperative.
Okay, so then
Anyway,
what is a right?
Right is that I have an imposition towards something as long as you have an imposition towards me as well. So I respect your well-being if you have a respect and regard for mine. It's
That's
a
what I
contract of religion. What did you say? Sorry,
I said
might
it's
have
an
missed it.
action that ought not be impeded, as in that's a thing that you should not be impeded from doing.
It's a thing
A right
that
is
you
a socially instituted claim or entitlement that reflects and enforces.
You don't believe that.
existing relations of
You don't
production
believe
and
that.
balance of class power.
You don't believe
Yes,
that.
all rights.
If you believe that,
all rights, if rights exist, they're socially determinate and historically.
okay. So then, if
determinate.
if it's based on
There's
society,
no such thing as there's no
Mhm.
such thing as a right abstracted from society or any social condition or anything like that. Like there's no individual right outside of
Okay.
like a
so rape is only wrong if society says it's wrong, from your perspective.
That's how morals work, right? They're come
Okay,
to
so
they're come to
if
as, like,
society
social
said
agreements
rape is
by-
okay,
Oh my god.
you would say it's okay.
There are like historical instances.
Murder.
where society,
What about like
validated rape
child
and
rape?
murder
You would
as,
say
like,
child rape is
Yeah, was
okay
it moral though?
if
Oh, God,
society
what is
says
this
it's okay.
conversation?
like that's like,
What did
but
I
that's
just walk into?
these aren't like I would say it's moral, right? Like that's not what we're arguing about, right?
That
We're
is
talking
what we're
about
arguing
what
about.
What morals are and
Can we
how they
not?
arise.
No,
Can we
okay.
not?
So I said Okay, so
Are you
this is
unfamiliar?
where
Are you
this is what we
unfamiliar
just
with- are you
wait, Jacob.
unfamiliar with moral anti-realism?
One sec, one second, please. 1 second. So this is what's going on here. These guys are saying that they don't believe in rights. So I said, okay, let's say somebody tried to come up to them and rape their ass, but they have the right to stop them. And then they're like, they don't have the right.
I wouldn't have the right, but I would defend myself.
I just
you know?
listen.
Wait,
I'm going to defend myself from being raped because I have an abstract
So
right.
would you?
Hold on.
Okay, okay.
Wait, can
Would
we
you
get
have
back on
the?
track?
Wait, I just want a quick yes or no.
Mita,
Would you
Mita,
guys?
Mita,
Wait.
Mita.
Would you guys have the right to stop that person from raping your ass? Just quick yes or no.
Yeah, cut off their dick.
So she says yes. What about you guys?
You can't kill him though.
No? Yes? No?
So you said you said your definition of rights was an action that ought not be impeded.
Mm-hmm. So should you be impeded? Should that guy be impeded from raping you?
That's
should
the
you be
question I'm
allowed?
asking.
Should you be allowed to impede that person?
No,
from raping you?
because that's the question I'm asking you.
I'm asking you. I asked you.
No, that's the question I'm asking you. Actually,
I literally asked you first.
Instead of taking these arguments at face value, you're taking this to a really stupid place.
You're not really. You guys are just
You're gonna make
dodging.
us instead of
You guys
taking
are
the arguments at
dodging.
face- instead of taking the arguments at face value, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna put up this silly scenario." It's like, "Oh, you don't have the right to like resist someone who's raping you." It's like, "Okay, I would resist someone who's raping me, but I wouldn't ground
You
it."
guys,
in this, like,
okay.
abstract
Did
notion.
you or did you? Did you? Listen to me. Listen to me, guys. One at a time. One at a time. Artifacts, please. Did you or did you guys? I want a quick yes or no. Did you or did you guys not say I don't believe in rights?
That's yes. That's what I said.
Okay, so therefore, my follow-up question, obviously, to that would be: if somebody tried to rape your ass, would you have the right to stop them? And you guys did not give me an answer.
Yes.
Yes?
Said no.
So you do believe in rights.
Wait, let me answer.
There wouldn't be like any rights. There wouldn't be any. There's
Stop
no.
all talking at once.
Wait. Hey, guys.
They're losing to an anarcho-capitalist because they're libertarian.
Shut up.
No, you gotta stop.
Which
You
is
gotta stop.
retarded.
You could call me retarded all you want. You could call me retarded all you want. I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing.
Because they can't win against you. That's fucking retarded.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You're not involved.
Okay. Please do not call people retarded. We are not calling each other names. We're gonna have a civilized discussion in here. Okay, guys.
Mita.
Now, please,
Can I ask
would.
a clarifying question to you?
Yes, please.
And just to try to get the conversation back on track. So I'm wondering whether the way we're defining right with that simplified definition is leading to talking past each other, like using the sense of the word right in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when people talk about rights, they talk about legal rights or moral rights. Here, you're simply saying, when you say an act that ought not to be interfered with, there's an implied moral, right? Ought not.
Mm-hmm.
Could I?
Well, law is a subset of ethics, so.
Exactly.
Could I just say something? Could I just
Sure.
say something?
No, Cam, go ahead. Let Cam go because he's kind of been silent for a while. He's been silent for a while, so.
I agree with that, but I've been like continuously.
I will let you go
interrupted.
later after Cam. Then okay, I'll put it.
That's just.
Oh wait, artifact. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go go ahead.
All right, thank you. So basically, what I'm trying to
No,
say
Cam
is.
go first. Cam go first, and then
All right, go
artifacts.
No, I just want to clarify. As KingSithis said, we believe that the law is a subset of ethics. We believe that the law deals with ethics, although not all of ethics is made up of legal theory. So when we're talking about rights, we're talking about them on our legal theory, where we're saying that people have property rights, and they deal with conflicts, or they're meant to avoid conflicts, where conflicts are people trying to do contradictory things with property. So that's what we mean by rights. It's a legal thing. It's not like it is moral, but it's specifically legal to us.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that rights are specifically a legal concept that serves as a reinforcement of class relations. And I would just like to say we can acknowledge that there is a difference in our understanding of property, which is relating, or a different understanding in rights, which is causing confusion in the debate. But we understand that and acknowledge that. And the point that I'm trying to make is that when we're talking about property, when we're talking about rights, give me a second.
Yep.
When we're talking about rights in this instance, it's a bit of a malformed question. The question he asked, is it right for somebody to defend themselves? And I'm saying, my answer to the question would be yes, it is right for somebody to defend themselves. And if you're defending somebody, and if you're defining something in terms of rights as an action that ought not be imposed, or
impeded,
an action that ought not be impeded, then my question is, why are we impeding the rapist's right to rape? And I think if you can't answer that question,
I don't think a rapist has a right to rape, because I believe in the NAP. I believe in rights, but you said you don't believe in rights. So I'm asking you, so if you say you don't believe in rights, my next follow-up question to that is, let's say there's a rapist and he wants to rape you.
Wait,
would you have the right?
I'm going to answer this in full, I'm going to give you a full, complete, and honest answer to the question. Is that cool?
It's not a gotcha. It's not a dishonest question.
It is a gotcha. It is a gotcha. I recognize that it's a gotcha, but we're still going to proceed with it in a full, honest, and open way. Right?
I mean, you could ask me gotchas.
Ultimately, the idea, you don't want to learn more about this moral framework that you obviously have not encountered before somehow. You just want to get like a quick, cheap, like, oh, look, he said that you don't have the right to like self-defense or whatever. And you're going to get raped in the act. How embarrassing for you, right? Is what you're going to say.
You don't believe in rights, then. You don't.
I just want a yes or no to the question,
how
man.
can you then believe in self-defense?
You said you were going to give us a comprehensive answer. I haven't heard a yes or a no. So what is the answer?
I feel like if you believe in rights, you have to say
the wind-up,
no,
and the wind-up is no, because rights don't exist, right? And if they do, they're socially informed.
Got you. So
in a given historical context, you wanted the complete answer, and you said you were going to listen, right? Would I resist someone trying to assault me? Like, yes, I would cut their fucking dick off and beat the shit out of them.
So you think you would have the right to do that, right?
Would I ground it in an abstract, ahistorical moral framework outside of time and history that has no empirical verifiability?
Whether you have the right to, is just about whether you think you're allowed to.
Wait, let him finish, and then I'll let you go.
No, I just want to be clear, right? Like,
all right. What's your question?
I wouldn't ground my ability to murder this person who's trying to assault me in any type of abstract moral framework. I would just do it. Because there's no need to, maybe in court later, right? If I'm trying to justify, hey, why'd you do that? Well, the person was trying to assault me, and in this society, under this government, I have the right to do this, and that. I have bodily autonomy and that stuff, right? And that's where it's useful in a legal framework. But in a ahistorical, abstract sense, there's no empirically verifiable rights that exist.
Right? Why would it need to be empirically verifiable?
Rights exist. Rights exist conceptually, correct?
Socially, right? They exist and are reified by social systems and by historical.
So that means that you would. That means that you believe in rights. Personally,
I don't agree with rights, but I do agree with the concept of non-domination, and I feel like if you agree with rights, you have to agree with the rights of the rapist and his right to rape you. I honestly do.
No, you don't. That doesn't follow.
Why
not? Just because you believe that.
No, you have
just
to believe
it. Yeah, so just because I believe. Wait. Listen. Let me give the answer. Let me give the answer. Let me give the answer.
You have a right to rape me.
Okay.
I have a right
to.
It's contradictory.
Okay, just because you believe that.
How so?
Yeah, just because you believe in the right to do some things doesn't mean that you believe in the right to do everything. So, for instance, if I say I have the right to drive my car, that doesn't mean that I also believe that I have the right to stab somebody. It's not the same thing. So if I say I have the right to stop someone from raping me, that doesn't mean that I also believe that the person who's raping me also has the right to rape me. That's contradictory.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about driving your car. And also at the
Oh
same
my
time, do
goodness,
you
I was just
believe
using that as an example.
Wait, stop. So then do you believe that at one point when somebody agrees to having sex with somebody and then they say no later on that the person has to finish? They're like, no, you agreed before.
No, that's
You can't
not
say
what
no
I'm
now.
talking about. Oh
Well,
my
that's not what you're talking
goodness.
about now, but we were talking about cars a
You
minute
guys are
ago.
making
So
my
like,
head hurt, bro.
You just,
Dark
like,
Karl
can't
Marx, these are
comprehend what
your
we're saying at
bros.
all,
Dark
can you,
Karl Marx,
Archie?
these are your bros. These are your friends, Dark Karl Marx.
He's no better than them. Don't give him credit.
Oh my goodness.
He agrees. This is like wait.
Loser fucking cronies, dude.
This
But I
is
hear what you're
objectively
saying.
wait. The
These are your bros.
position that hang on. This is the position that I've articulated is objectively the Marxist position on the matter. It's everything that Marx had to say about rights.
No, he
the
does not
framework of
represent
rights.
You know what's
framework
crazy
of
though?
rights-
Hang on.
The framework
You
of
know what's
rights.
crazy?
The framework of
Hang on.
rights.
For everybody here, you know what's crazy?
These are your
That
friends.
Marx-
These are your bros. These are your bros.
The framework of rights.
Marx got
and ownership.
absolutely annihilated by
Yo,
Hegel.
I don't
It's
think you guys
crazy.
can
He
hang, bro.
bastardized it.
Honestly, I don't think you Marxists can hang, bro.
Hegel died long before Marx was born.
I don't think you guys can
This
hang,
is it.
bro.
But Marx
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it. Marx is it again.
he doctored Karl Marx, right? He was like, hey,
You guys aren't
hey,
aren't
little
allowed
guy,
into
here's a little
Gulag.
No,
bit of
he
philosophy
didn't.
for you.
Karl
and
Marx.
then
Hegel
Karl
had
Marx
died before
bastardized the
Karl.
fuck out of his work.
No, he didn't. Hegel had
Oh,
died.
really? Okay, let's
Oh
talk
shit,
about
Marx is
dialectics.
infighting. Oh, let's go.
Let's talk about
Hegel had
dialectics.
literally
then.
already died already. Hegel
Then
had
let's
already
talk about
fucking died.
then
What are
let's
you
talk
talking
about
about?
dialectics. Then let's
Let's
talk
talk about the young
Ding ding
Hegelian.
ding. Let's
Let's talk
go.
about Bruno Bauer. Let's
Oh,
talk
these
about
guys are fucking
Feuerbach.
idiots.
Do you know anything about the German idealist or Feuerbach? You probably think that Hegel was
German
responding.
idealists? Oh wow.
You probably
German
think that
idealists
Hegel was
aren't
responding to
Hegelists.
Kant.
Kind of fucking
You probably
retarded.
don't know the first thing about, bro. You probably think
Hegel did
the
respond to Kant. Hegel actually made a specific critique of Kant and universal imperatives. Would you like a critique of categorical imperative norms? I can give it to you. Would you like that, Artifix?
Why is that relevant?
Oh, quasi-relevant. Very relevant, actually.
No, I
It's
said
relevant
why.
to
I
this-
said why is that relevant?
Oh, okay. It's relevant to dialectics and how.
All right,
Marx,
guys.
specifically Karl Marx, bastardized
I love you guys.
So what he did-
But this is
Okay.
not.
What he
This
did
is
was
the
he took the
AnCap channel.
material-
This is the AnCap channel, guys.
So Kant is
I
relevant.
respect you guys'
I'm very
enthusiasm.
ashamed of being Marxist right now.
But this
What
is
is
the
this tangent?
AnCap channel. This is the
Alright,
AnCap channel.
Me and you can talk then.
Okay.
Me and you can talk.
Yeah,
I
if you
outrate
guys
these
want to
guys.
go
Let's talk
somewhere
about
else and talk another
anarcho-capitalism.
time, whatever, or you guys want to hang out, that's fine. But
They can hang out and listen. It's okay. They can listen.
this is the
Also,
AnCap
why
channel,
do you-
bro.
Yeah. So why do you think that anarcho-capitalism is good?
Because it's number one.
What does it mean to be number one in this case?
Well, because I believe in private property rights. And I believe very strongly in the free exchange of goods and services between private property owners and the non-aggression principle. So,
Okay,
and I'm
so,
very against this. I'm also very
agree
against
with
the state.
non-aggression principle.
That's
I
not
also
true.
agree with the non-aggression principle. So let's talk about this a little bit, right?
Hell yeah.
So with like how we're going to organize societies, it's going to have to be through like a distributive process. Would you agree? There's going to have to be some medium through which we use, and like markets would be the capitalists' medium. Can we agree on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if markets are the capitalist medium, I don't think that markets are actually necessary, and markets are in fact probably bad for the average good of man. So if we talk about how we can actually distribute goods and services, we can do that through libraries and library laws that have been set up from the early 1900s. We would use the usufruct of freedom, which is the understanding that you can use these goods, but you're not able to destroy them. So you can exchange goods and services within a library, but you're not able to destroy them. This requires no market, because libraries don't actually work on markets. In fact, most of the time, if you are using a library correctly, it costs no money. So they're not a market. They work on library laws.
How does the
If you want
market
me to
acquire
cite-
its
If you
goods?
want me to cite what I'm talking about, I can. I'll cite it in the side chat. It's called Andrewism. It's on the Anarchist Library.
Okay.
It's free library economies.
Why are markets bad?
Okay, so yeah, like Us anarchist libertarians are not ethically opposed to any people doing anything that is not necessarily capitalistic in a sense, so long as you aren't initiating force against anyone. So for instance, if you wanted to start your own commune and run it in a communistic sense or a socialistic sense, so long as you aren't harming anyone or initiating force against anyone in any way, we do not have any problem with that.
Alright, I'm back.
What if we ran the economy? Here you go. Here's a good read for anyone who's listening.
Mm-hmm. So let's say we had an AnCap land, and that did work out really well. Then more people would adopt it, and it would be a free market of competing economic systems, and whichever one's the best would turn out. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I would agree. You know how we do that? It's going to be through a Hegelian dialectic. So what we first have to understand is the means through which we subject ourselves to enslavement and enslavement dialectics, specifically the master-slave dialectic. And so what happens in that is we are going to slowly sublate the masters from which we are subjugated to, but we have to do that through our own individual phenomenological experience, which is impossible to do with things like tech, for example. Isn't
With
that
what?
funny? Hegel just blew dialectical materialism out of the fucking water.
show me a page in Hegel where he uses the terms.
I'll be honest, I didn't really understand what you just said.
He said a bunch of gobbledygook, and he's a troll.
There's no troll here, and there's not any gobbledygook. If you want to talk about how we
No, I was following what you were saying.
Show me a single page passage.
Personally, I'm okay with capitalism. I think private businesses are fine. I don't have a business with them. I mainly have a problem with the state. I don't really like the state, honestly.
I think we can agree on that. A little bit of anarchist
union
there.
Does the state still have some role? Just a limited one?
No limits, no state. Taxation is theft.
Okay, so how do you create security?
Privatize.
How do you what's that?
Privatize it.
So privatize security
or
forces?
make it entirely public, where there becomes a public militia.
Okay, but who governs the public militia at that point?
There is no governance. If you understand older egalitarian principles, for example, there isn't a strict governance. There is a governance among the people, and there's probably something like a chief or a leader, but the leader is actually appointed according to their abilities within a given field and not according to some arbitrary standards.
The market can do that by basically by using price signals, and then the state has the economic calculation problem because they have to deal with the economic calculation problem because they lack the price signals needed to allocate scarce resources to their most value productive route.
Yeah, so this is where something like if we wanted to, there is a possible route for cyber socialism as an intermediary step, where it looks like we control inputs and outputs from a centralized figure. For example, the Chilean government had a project called Project CyberSyn that they were running, and similar technology is being used in Amazon to distribute goods. But if it was nationalized and taken over by the state, and then the state disappeared over time as we sublate the master of the state as well, then it would go along a kind of Marxist path, but it completely denies certain areas of Marx, especially in the last step, because it denies this material need.
I think the issue with a lot of these models is that the only way that it could really work is if it's using pre-existing market, external market pricing, which is or external factor pricing, which is basically looking at how other people act in the market and then making decisions based off of that information, which is what a lot of these computers do. As you start to phase the market out, it becomes harder and harder to do that because there's less information that it can pull the data from, and yeah, that's why a lot of
hang on,
that's why a lot of AI
bit.
is
Would you
like
me to explain?
sure.
Okay, so as it phases out, what would happen is technology would slowly degrade, and we would not be using that as much, and we would organize into more of communal structures. Hence why I'm an anarcho-communist. So there will probably be a stage where technology is very useful for us, and then there's going to be a stage in which technology is not as useful anymore because we're going to go back to a communal structure. A lot of people understand this.
I'm not
from
against the
different
idea of using AI. I just don't like the idea of the state using it.
I don't like the idea of the state using it either. But if a
or regulating
if a socialist state ran it, it would be very different.
Socialist states are no better than any other state.
Well, no,
all states are bad.
A planned economy through a completely automated means that would only be triggered or used by a specific council of people, and they would basically only be making decisions on whether to increase or decrease output in specific sectors of industry.
Taxation is theft.
Yeah, I mean it is shitty. Like I don't
also
really
the ECP
do that either. The other option is we go straight for the communal structuring.
Or we privatize functions of the state slowly, or we get more people to support anarchism. Or agorism is a good way. Monero is another really good way too. But I think privatizing more functions of the state is better because you're replacing functions of the state with voluntary interactions in the market.
Yeah, but I would rather phase out the state by organizing in communal structures. I think that could be not only more effective, but
like what the Amish are doing.
Yeah, not just the Amish though. Like there's other countries, for example, that just subsist more on for example, like simple agriculture, which is better than subsisting on like very superfluous kind of non-essential things.
Well, good luck with that. Personally, I don't have a problem with privatization. I don't have a problem with private companies. So I would never call myself a communist.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah, I'm an anarcho-communist, so we're gonna agree on the anarchist part. I just think when it collapses, it becomes more of a communal structure. So egalitarianism is kind of where we came from, and it's kind of where we go back to in some ways, I believe.
I feel like that's where we basically end up coming back to. I feel like, you know, that we agree with the issue, which is fundamentally the state, which I have with the AnComs. But the issue is just fundamentally, like, a lot of them look at me like I'm crazy because I do not care about money. I do not care about private business. I do not care about private property ownership. I think it's fine. And I think it's good.
How do you handle courts? Is it all private courts?
Everything would be private, yep. Competing courts.
So, two people have a dispute. How do they decide which court's going to handle their dispute?
Yeah.
If you generally, what you would do is you would sign up for a private insurance fund and an insurance agency, and that insurance agency would already have pre-agreed to third-party arbitration firms that would settle disputes between people within their firm and people also with other firms as well, as to avoid.
Okay, that's for civil matters. What if I walk over to your house, I punch you in the face, and then?
And that could also work for criminal matters too. You know, it would be restitution based.
But who would decide which court is going to adjudicate this?
It would be pre-agreed to by the. There would be a lot of these private security firms or private rights enforcement agencies or insurance agencies would most likely have signed agreements with each other to pre-settle their disputes between and arbitration agencies. And you actually see this in the real world between private insurance, car insurance, when they get into disputes. they pre-agree to a specific court.
Yeah, but that
to settle
assumes that
disputes.
I, as the attacker, have insurance.
Well, then there's claim subrogation. But then the thing about insurance is that the insurance pays you regardless of whether they can extract the restitution, because they're pulling the money from the pool that people pay into, and then they figure out how to collect restitution afterwards.
Yeah, but how do they collect restitution in a private?
Well, they can
market
go to
system?
them, they could take their stuff, or they could force them into some work camp, or garnish their wages. There's plenty of ways you could figure out a way, you know.
I mean, that seems like it's taking the role of the state there. Anytime
It's
you're
not a
able
state
to
because
come
it's
and
voluntary. A state
well,
forces
that's
you.
just it. How do I, if I walk into your house, I have no insurance. I come, from somewhere else. I walk into your house and I just start breaking stuff and committing crimes against you.
You'd call
might
your
be
private
insured.
insurance, and then they'd come and take you out. Or I'd use my guns to shoot you, because in
use
Ancapistan,
your
guns would be
guns?
legal. Guns would be fully
You
legal
would-
in Ancapistan.
Okay, so you could use your guns to shoot me.
Yep.
What if I use my guns to shoot you?
I mean, that's like okay. Well, I mean, that's like that can happen under a status system too, right? You do realize like break-ins
Yeah,
and
no, I'm
robberies
just
happen
trying to-
under.
Yes, but in the status system, we do actually have an answer about what we do when these things occur.
We do
I'm
too.
trying to understand
We do
what,
too.
what we do.
You call your
So
private.
that's what I'm trying
I
to
told you
bless.
the answer. You'd call your private insurance agency, and they'd send men to help you. Same thing with the police.
Oh, like the people that you're paying protection money to would come and keep me out of your house, basically.
That's you really think that's what I said?
That's how it comes across. I'm really trying to understand what you're saying.
No, you're not trying to understand what I'm saying, because
No, I
that's
really
what you
am.
think.
You're saying
I
that
said
they're gonna
that's
send
clearly
people to
not
come
what I
and
said.
protect you.
Okay, that's what I said. They would come to your house to protect you. Yes,
Okay, how are they going to protect you?
using guns.
Okay, and you paying them to do it.
Yes.
Okay, but then you didn't like my use of the word protection money.
I never said I had an issue with that.
Oh, okay, then I'm not sure what you had the issue with.
I had the issue with you not letting me. Whatever, it don't matter. But either way,
I'm really trying to understand how it
No,
works.
I had an
Like,
issue with you thinking that they would kick them out of their own house, which would be ridiculous. They wouldn't do that. They obviously they're going to be incentivized to protect their customers because customers can move from one business to another.
I'm just trying to think. Usually, if this model, the things that have been tried turn into warlordism, where the warlords just can take and people go and support whichever warlord they think is going to protect them. I'm not pretty sure that's not what you're describing here, but it's just there's this fundamental problem of force and how you
Well, the incentives
create justice in that, and like the traditional method of that is the state. But I'm trying to understand the stateless solution.
It's incented because it incentivizes when you have profit incentive. It incentivizes people to maximize, to do what is best for their customers, so that they will, well, maybe not do what's best for their customers, but do what will make them the most money for their customers. And in this situation, protecting them and their property and settling disputes or keeping disputes to a minimum while increasing their pool of money as people pay into it. That's what they're going to be incentivized to do. And as they keep the peace, more people pay into their system, while also there's less disputes, means that there's less people pulling from the pool of money. So they're going to be incentivized to create ways to not have as much disputes. And also, when there's disputes between two private companies, they're going to want to sign agreements with each other. Kind of like NATO, you know what I mean, with all these countries, right? If one of them decides to aggress or do something wrong, they can publicize what they're doing to all the other companies, and then they can group up together to stomp that one out. And it could...
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm kind of hearing is it's like, this is, I know I'm going to be off, but I'm trying to come up with the mental picture that's closest to what you're describing. So like little city states And if I want protection, like each, protector might control a section of a city or have a territory, and they're going to protect within that territory. And
well, it
if
wouldn't
I don't like the protection, then I got to
actually.
go to a different part of the territory.
Actually, the thing is, they could only do that if they own the territory. But the thing is, protection agencies. So for your car insurance, do they only insure you over a certain territory? No, they insure you over all of, pretty much all over that area, the state. You know what I mean? And there's multiple companies that are insuring multiple people in the same area. And it would work the same way with private insurance in defense, where as opposed to them controlling one territory, everybody lives on their own territory, and then they just choose to protect them whenever a dispute
what
arises.
happens when you run out of territory, right? You know what I'm saying?
You move to the moon. Move to Mars.
Basically, I'm saying that those territories just become little states. You just got a bunch of little states, don't ya?
Not if they're privately owned, because a state would be a
No,
criminal
they basically
organization.
run as little miniature states, buddy.
So if I'm a private owner of a land, and that makes I'm not an owner, I'm a state.
I mean, if you're like a landlord or whatever, like the homestead thing you guys talk about.
Mhm.
I mean, dude, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. I mean, if you're like that rent is essentially just like taxes you get from people. I mean, like you're the.
Amen.
So if I homestead
God,
land,
thank you.
I shouldn't be allowed to charge someone to stay on it.
No, you should not.
Dude, you're essentially. You
So
just
if
have
somebody
your own
wants to stay in your house,
Let me finish, and then you can get it. It's no different from you like run your own little private city. You're the king of it. Like you run that shit.
but I don't think there's anything wrong with running your own land, and so long as you got
And
it through just.
why don't you have
so long
anything
as,
wrong?
So long as you got it.
Why do you have something wrong with
Let
the
me
state then?
Because the state. Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with owning land so long as you got it through just means. And I believe that how you got it through just means is through voluntary transaction, and which is or original appropriation. The state did
You don't
not
think that
get
a state can operate justly?
The state did not get its land through voluntary transaction or original.
Why can't a state be justly occupied?
Because they're criminals. They stole it.
Well, look, I'm not saying you stole it or not. That's besides the point. The fact of the matter is,
well, if I didn't steal it, then it's my land. It belongs
Yeah,
to me.
it's still a little mini state. It's still a little mini state, though.
It's not a state. Again, if I'm on my own land and I refuse to let somebody stay there, then I'm not violating their rights because I got my land through just means.
Okay, so let me tell you a story of just make sure I'm getting this. The story of Duckburg. So
I think sex for rent is perfectly fine.
Scrooge McDuck
I'll just
buys
go.
50 acres.
This is not a rational human being.
Fine, get the fuck out of here then.
Wait, okay, look. How about if you start renting to people and that area becomes.
Are you guys
like
against sex work?
Would you stop fucking around, dude?
What? Sorry. Go ahead.
Look, you're fucking with my contract. Look, if you rent to people and that rent becomes like the size of a town, and you run that shit, I mean, like, that's still like it might be local, whatever, but I mean that's still. That's
So
like,
what? What's wrong with it? You can't have a family farm, where the dad is like he's kind of like the person that runs everything.
That's not all your family. That's not all your family.
Hmm? You never heard of a family farm?
Look, it doesn't matter what you call it. I mean, it
So
is what it
people
is.
can't own family farms and then charge people to stay on it? You're saying that's like wrong?
Fucking, you're a mayor at that point. That's my point.
Not really.
Exactly.
You're just a private property owner.
Yeah.
The difference between the owner
You're a private
is
property owner who
the
charges
owner.
people to stay on it. Everybody does their job, and you have your own security force to make sure everybody does things. And if disputes come across the people that live on your land, then you're going to have your own judicial system with you as the Lord deciding those things. It
Yeah.
sounds a hell of a lot like feudalism.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's the difference. Feudal lords don't own the land. They stole it or conquered it. Landowners own the land because they got it through consensual transaction or the original appropriation.
How do you decide?
The state
How do you adjudicate
violated
ownership if there's no state?
Ownership is determined by whether or not you've gotten it through original appropriation or voluntary transaction.
And who decides that which one of those two is true?
Using evidence.
Well, who's the adjudicating body? I say.
Well, whoever's the one
making
the accusation has to give forth evidence that the person committed the crime.
Evidence to whom?
A court.
Oh, there's a court.
Yeah,
Whose
we
court?
believe in privatized courts.
Okay, so me and the other party would have to agree to go to a court.
Yeah, most private courts would have fair arbitration standards so to incentivize both parties to go to the court. If not, then, most parties are not going to want to go to them.
Okay, and if the court says, no, you didn't get the land justly, is somebody going to come and seize the land?
They could only do that if they have evidence that you stole it.
Okay, so they go to court, and the court says, I see the evidence that you stole the land.
Well, then he's guilty. Then he would have his land taken and given back to whomever it was stolen from.
Okay. Who's going to take it?
His private insurance, the person whom it was stolen from, private insurance firm.
So that means a higher feudal lord, essentially.
It's not a feudal
There's
lord. It's a private.
acting-
A private company is not a feudal lord. Because nobody's forcing. Again, feudal. I guess you don't know how feudalism works, right? Feudalism basically works where a person conquers a land, forces all the people in there to follow their law and pay taxes, and if they don't, they will kill them and murder them. Nobody is forcing anybody to stay on anyone's land. Nobody's forcing anybody to pay into any taxes. Nobody's killing anybody unjustly in Capistan. So it's nowhere near close. It's nowhere near close to feudalism.
Okay,
Look,
so
you
I'm
have
just trying to get it, because how do you prevent the people from saying, you know what, I like this land, I believe it's mine, you don't agree with it, the court doesn't agree with it, but I'm going to hire up a bunch of guns and we're going to defend this land. And then after we're done defending it, we're going to
In
make
a
more
private
guns, and then
system,
we're
there
gonna
would
claim
most
your land.
likely, under a private system, there would most likely be some private way of proving. When you're under an insurance agency, what they would ask you is, what are you in possession of? What are you the owner of? And they would expect you to give some sort of evidence that if they're going to insure it, that you are in fact the owner. And generally, under a privatized system, we would have some sort of system like a deed, or maybe like a title, or like some sort of receipt system to verify whether or not somebody is the owner. So if a bad actor decides to say, hey, I'm the owner of this land, they can merely just be like, here is my title, here's my receipt to the private company. Well, they wouldn't even need to show it. They already showed it before they got it insured, and the private company would say, hey, this guy is clearly lying because before insuring it, this guy already proved to us that he is in fact the owner of this land, so therefore that person his claim would be basically mute.
But
It
how
would
does
work.
this
It
not
would
end
work
with
the
the guy
same
with the
way.
biggest
It would
army?
work very similar to how it works now under the state system, but the only difference is it would be done under a private voluntary system.
What makes the state work is that they have a monopoly on the violence.
Well, yeah, they force
Here,
people
we
to
don't
pay
have
in.
Yeah, they force people to pay in, and they have the monopoly on the violence.
There's
You're
competition.
describing a system where there's competition for the violence.
Yeah, but again, even in the world, the state doesn't have a monopoly on force. There are many different states in this world, and many of them tend to cooperate with each other as opposed to settling disputes through war more often than not. And because of that, it could work very similarly with private companies.
But within each country, like if you were modeling each country being its own little just privately owned fiefdom, you've got countries that want to go in conquest. They're just going to go raid and pillage and seize and take and drive the machine and do plundering, Viking raids. You've got other groups that try to form, laws and alliances.
Yeah, but those are states. I'm against the state.
Well, you're replacing state with a private corporate ownership.
Yeah, because and the reason why that is because private companies are voluntary. They are, and they're incentivized to protect the people who are under them. Because if not, they can move from one company to another. Whereas under a state, they could use guns to force people into that system. Which is
what do you think about?
Ultimately, it comes down to who's got the most guns.
Real quick, what do you think about private cities like what those billionaires doing in like Honduras, like Prospero?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's cool.
Okay, you don't think that's like a private city state? Like I mean,
it's similar.
They're the rulers of that. Like
they're close to. They're very close to anarcho-capitalism, but I wouldn't fully call it anarcho-capitalism.
I mean, it's pretty much the logical result. I mean, come on.
But I mean, is there anything that you see bad going on in Prospero that you feel like that they're doing wrong?
Well, I mean,
Are they pillaging the innocents and forcing people to work against their will in those bins, or are they cooperating peacefully and settling disputes with contracts as opposed to going to war?
There have been disputes by locals saying that they're buying up the land.
Do they settle it using guns and shooting each other and shooting the locals, or they try to hire them and settle it in other ways?
They do have security,
so Prospero went and hired guns to shoot the locals because when they had a dispute. That's what you're saying.
I never said they shot anybody. I'm saying they're holding.
So that private company, when they have a dispute with the locals, they don't just hire guns to shoot those people and kill those people, right? No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking you a quick question.
Why are you interrupting me? Like, could you be cool? I haven't accused you of anything. I haven't called you a killer. I don't know why you're going back to this.
I'm not accusing you of anything either.
Okay. Well, I don't know why you keep on bringing up this killing thing.
No. I'm just hold on. There's a point to all of this. What I'm trying to prove is that, it is perfectly possible for there to be private cities, and nobody's being forced into it. It's all voluntary. Some people in the areas may not like it, but they're not the owner of that land, so they don't have the right to say anything about it.
Okay, look. We haven't gotten to the non-aggression principles, so I think your mind's focused on that. My point is that it's a oxymoron. To focus on that is my main criticism. Okay, whether or not you're a killer or whatever, we can focus on that later on in the moral discussion.
Yeah,
okay?
but it's voluntary. There's a difference between voluntary and involuntary, right?
Well, sure. Okay, and
okay, so the state, and you would agree with me that the state is involuntary, right?
No, you can sure. Do another country.
It's involuntary, but
the state is involuntary, correct?
I literally just agreed with you on that.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. So you said yeah, right? You talked a little low. I didn't really hear you that well. So my bad. What I was going to say is that so if we agree that the state is involuntary, then if you're talking about a private companies aren't involuntary, right? Nobody's forcing you to work work at your job. Nobody's forcing you to buy at your local grocery store, right?
Nah, dude, homelessness is the threat.
Nope, no person is forcing you. That's what I meant.
Well, society doesn't have to be a person.
My point is, look, if you buy up a certain amount of land, you build freaking buildings there, and you call it a city, and you run it, like that's like.
So I guess you're gonna dodge my question, I guess.
I didn't touch a goddamn thing, man.
Okay, so then answer my question. I asked you a very simple question. Is anybody forcing you to go to the grocery store? Is anybody forcing you to work at your job?
I mean, you're pretty much stuck with that, so yeah.
So it's voluntary. Is it? Well, are you saying it's involuntary? Someone's forcing you to work at your job?
I mean, you're kind of forced to rely on like wage labor.
By who? By who?
By capitalism itself.
By the system? That's not a person.
Yeah.
Who? I said who.
Yeah, but it's made up of people.
So if you don't work, someone's gonna force you to go to your job.
And
if you don't work, you become a homeless scrub.
Okay, yeah, so that's just the fact. That's just a fact of nature, right? That isn't someone forcing you, right?
This system, though,
it's not a system that makes it. The system doesn't make it so
Yeah,
that you have to work to live. That's just a
the
fact of life.
alternative is we would all just be Africans in a hut, right? Like, yeah, you can say, okay, they don't have gaming PCs, they don't have like deodorant, but they
I
also
don't think
don't work
there's
40
listen. I
hours
don't
a
think there's
day.
anything wrong with Africans in huts. My only argument
Okay, and
is
neither do I. But
I
I'm
know,
just
but my
saying
argument
that's
is that we live in a world of scarcity, right? So
no, we don't.
obviously we can't all get everything that we want, right?
No,
So
we
that means
can't.
that we
live
have
in a
to.
world of abundance.
So
Like,
yeah, so if you stop working, you know, somebody's gonna have to foot the bill, and if nobody foots the bill, well, then you're shit out of luck, right? That's
yeah,
true.
but notice
Doesn't
how Africans don't work 40 hours a week, right?
I don't know how many hours a week they work.
Okay, well, they work like 10 to 12 hours a week, depending on
Well,
the
that's good for
area.
them, bro.
Sometimes they
I'm
do
not.
work
We're
like
not.
50
Are
hours
we
a week.
talk? We're not talking about hours per week. We're talking about whether or not work in itself is coercive.
Yeah, but I'm saying work is inherent to capitalism. Like, so yes, it is coercive.
Every
inherent to
society
the
you have to
society.
work. Socialist society, capitalist society, communist society.
No, that's
Every
not
society
true.
has to work.
That's a fallacy. There are some societies where they live off the land. That's why I brought up Africa.
Africa, they don't work.
Not everywhere, no. There are many places that are completely undeveloped, and there's literally still people living in villages.
They live off the
Like,
land,
yes,
right?
they-
No, but they have to work in
Yeah.
order to live, right?
Yeah, but it's not wage labor, my guy.
But that's still work.
Wait,
You
Yeah,
think
when
that's
it's
not
the
at
kind
work?
of work you're describing?
Are you
where
saying it's not a
literally-
job? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so what? It's still work. You still have to work to live.
Okay, so no, so it's not the same system.
It's not
we
a.
live
It
in,
may
where-
not be a job, but it's you still have to work.
Okay,
Every
yes,
system
but
you
don't
have to work to live.
But
That's
you don't have to work as hard, dude.
still you still have to work.
No, but it's not as hard, and that matters.
Okay, but you still have to work.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. but
Okay,
you don't have to
so
work as
then you're
hard.
not. We're not in disagreement. Every system you have to
No,
work
yes,
to live.
we are, because you're saying that the surplus value extraction is a net benefit.
Did I say that?
Or you're saying
Wait,
it's
profit?
irrelevant. It doesn't
Prof?
matter.
Are you
You're
talking about
ignoring
profit?
it. And anytime anyone else
Where
is
is he?
trying to bring it up or point out that that's the way the world works, you talk over them, and that's why we're.
I'm not
getting
talking over you.
annoyed
I'm
with
merely.
you.
I'm not talking over
You
you.
have multiple times, bro.
Okay, all I'm merely asking you, I merely asked you whether or not I was merely stating a fact, and that fact is that every system, no matter if it's communist, socialist, or capitalist, you have to work to live. Like, it's just a fact.
Okay, and there's also a fact that other systems force you to work harder than others. That's also a fact.
As far as I can tell, nobody's forcing you to work in America.
Okay, some systems implicitly fucking coerce you to work harder than others. There.
Under the socialistic system that is America, yeah, I agree that you are kind of forced to work more than you would otherwise because the state increases the value, prints out a whole bunch of money through the Federal Reserve, and inflates our money supply, thus making our money and the value of our currency devalue much more than it would otherwise be. So yeah, I would agree with you. The state, the socialist system that is the state, has been sucking a lot of wealth from a lot of innocent workers.
Yeah, but you would still have central banking without states. Central banking is
No, you
older than
wouldn't.
States. Yes,
I
it
don't.
is. Central
You
banking
never heard
goes
of a
back to
free
the Roman
banking system?
Empire.
You never heard of a free banking system?
That's never existed, dude.
It has existed before.
Where like
In the
communist
United
Russia,
States,
like,
it also happened. It's you worked in the United States. It's worked in fact, most
No, it
countries,
hasn't.
many countries had free banking systems.
in the United States, we have the Federal Reserve. Like,
We had Federal Reserve all the way to the beginning of the United States.
no, since 1919.
Okay, so since before that, they had thousands of currencies and thousands of different banks with their own currencies. We had a free banking system. But then the state,
No, they didn't.
basically,
They had
the
centralized
state,
money.
what happened was a private company went to the state and basically asked them to allow them to monopolize their bank. And the state said yes and forced every single person to basically adopt their currency. And then they're thus making the Federal Reserve.
I mean, yeah, but that was still a private interest group. Like,
Again, but they use the state to enforce that. Again, private companies use the state in order to expand their wealth. I agree. That's why I think we should abolish the state.
okay, yeah, and then you would have no protection
For a smaller
It would
state.
just be might makes right.
Might does not make right.
I mean,
it would be under your system. Like,
No, it would not. We believe in private rights enforcement.
okay, so what do you do when someone simply just starts buying slaves or like forcing children into slavery?
Their rights enforcement agencies would come in and protect them. And the
Okay, but
community would
who's
present,
funding
and
that,
the
though?
United, and we would also allow for gun ownership too. So they would use
I mean,
guns.
like,
Okay,
so
but
which-
by whose
so-
decree,
hold
though?
on. So
There's
which
no decree.
mercenary army
It's
are you gonna
anarchist.
hire?
We believe in the
So which
non-aggression
mercenary army
principle.
are you gonna hire for this?
Wait, I'm
I just
sorry,
love
what
how
was
much
Doug
you
saying?
you guys are defending the state. Like, wow, like
He's gonna
such
hire all
bootlickers.
the Karens.
Actually, no. I actually asked you, like, which mercenary army are you gonna hire for this?
Huh?
All the Karens. I already told you.
Yeah, all the
Hey,
Karens.
hold on. I thought you said you're not coming back here.
What's happening?
I'm in disguise.
I think
Yeah,
sex
you
for
are-
rent is perfectly okay.
Do you want
Okay,
that? Like, is that what?
What's
you're,
wrong
is
with
that
sex
what
for
you're-
rent? What, are you guys against prostitution or something?
We get
I
your
mean,
libertarian.
no, but that's not what we were talking about. We're talking about how are you going to enforce the law if there's
Private
no
rights
common
enforcement. I
agreement?
already answered that.
Yeah, but that's something that people have to pay for. Like, that's not free.
Well, then there's claim subrogation if you're poor.
Okay, no.
What does
Since
that
we're
mean?
talking
Like, how can
talking
you
about-
claim anything if there's no bureaucracy? Like,
Private
I got
claim
I got
subrogation.
another question for you. I got another question for you. So,
Does it have to
let's
do with
say you have a
prostitution?
who's going to enforce it? You're not making
Private
any
rights
sense.
enforcement.
So let's say you have a
What the
business.
fuck is
right?
this guy talking about?
So let's say you have a business.
Go read
and let's say you have a business and you have workers that are striking, right, for better working conditions and better rights, and they do a picket line to keep you from using new workers to supplement them. Would you feel justified in using your own private security force to harm them to keep them from like messing with your profits?
Messing with your profits? No, but if they are damaging your property or if that boss doesn't want them on the property, I would argue that they would have a right to either fire them or kick them off.
Okay, so if they have a picket line, like
I think
you
union
become
busting is fine, as so long as you aren't initiating force against anyone.
Okay, so you're fine with them messing with the picket line so long as they don't harm them, right? Your security guards.
They would have to remove them. The only thing they would have the right to do is remove them from the property, and that would be it.
Okay, but who decides that though? Why wouldn't they just
The
kill
property
them all?
owner. Because
Okay, but what if he's
those
like, "No, I just
protesters
wanna
would
kill
have
everybody"?
rights enforcement agencies of their own, and if they decided to shoot them,
No, they
they would
wouldn't.
have
They're
to deal with
poor.
it.
They just
yes,
be
they would.
they just be there.
All
They
of them
wouldn't hire
wouldn't.
guards or anything.
That's
They wouldn't hire any
ridiculous.
Okay, let's say that they do have that,
And they
then
would also have
those rights
guns too. There
enforcement-
would also be militias, and community militias too, because everybody's allowed to own their own weapons and stuff. You know,
Okay, well, let's say my side just has RPGs and I just wipe them all out.
we would have RPGs too. We would have tanks.
How are you, dude? No, you wouldn't. What are you talking about?
What makes you think, bro? You
you're
can buy
bored.
a tank.
What are you
You can
talking
buy
about?
a tank right now. You can buy a tank right
No,
now.
you can't, dog.
Yes, you can.
That's the government. You
Okay.
can't just buy
You
a
go to
tank.
Mad Max so
You
fucking
can buy a
quickly.
tank
Like,
right
this
now.
so
You do that
insane.
right.
It just goes to, dude. It just goes.
I'm
to
not
the person
trolling.
you
This is
almost-
anarcho-capitalism. Look it up. There's a really great book by Hans Hermann Hoppe. It's called The Private Production of Defense. It's really, really good. You should read it. I can send it to you.
It's called Mad Max.
It's not Mad Max. It's great. I can send you. Actually, I can send you a 20-minute, a short 20-minute video that explains it way better than I do. It's really great.
Dude, I already played Bioshock, dude. It's just a dumb stupid.
No, it's not Bioshock. It's not Cyberpunk. It's not all these stupid little
Dude, yeah, it
arguments that you guys make. It's gonna be super dope. It's gonna be
fucking
like
Wild West.
You think Prospera is that bad? Prospera is super dope. They got all these like
It's a mini
technology
state.
and
It's a mini. That's my
no,
point.
it's not. It's not a state. They are the owner of the land. The state stole the land.
Where does it reside?
It's a lot of
He's the fucking mayor. He is the fucking mayor of the city.
He is the mayor because he owns it. He is the
Okay,
private
okay,
property
thank you,
owner.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because he's the owner.
Fucking
If you're the owner, you have the right to choose what you want to do with your property. Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's inherently.
That's not government. That's not the state. A state is a criminal organization that merely declares itself to be the owner of a land and then forcefully extracts the wealth from those who are under it. Like a mafia. They're a criminal organization. Private companies are not criminals. They are people who are in it for profit.
I don't give a damn if you're Jesus freaking Christ. If you own a town, if your fucking society like goes beyond the town, you're a fucking politician. End of story.
You're not a politician because you're the owner.
Doesn't
If
matter
if the
how you
people
define
don't
it.
want to live in that town, they could leave.
Yeah, you can do that in any town. Congratulations. You're
Yeah, but the state is not the owner of the land. They stole it.
No, they are the owner. It
No,
doesn't
they
matter if
didn't. They stole it.
I mean, so what, dude?
What do you mean,
Like, look
so
at it.
what? If I stole your phone, would that then just make me the owner of it now?
I mean, yeah, that's what guns are for.
No,
Like, sadly.
man. What? No. You don't believe that.
I mean, spiritually, I don't, but physically, I do.
Okay, so you don't believe that. Get out of here.
Okay, but what does that matter to the reality of it? Like,
Because you agree
it's
with
like
me.
saying, okay, if I get shot, I want to believe that I'm gonna live, but in reality, I know I'm gonna die, right?
Okay, just because someone took your phone doesn't mean it's their phone.
In reality, it means it's in their possession, so it might as well.
Well,
be
yeah, it may
theirs.
be in their possession, but it doesn't make it theirs.
No, I mean they stole it from me, but what does it matter if they
Exactly.
have it?
Okay, then we're in agreement. Gosh.
Okay, but if they have it, what does it matter though?
Because that
Yeah,
because
they're a
own
sinner,
because
okay,
we
but they still
why
got what
why
they
it
wanted
matters
it
is
for.
because it determines who has the rightful ownership of the thing.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
All that.
Bro,
determines
you
that.
can't
It
tell
was
me
who
you don't
has-
agree with me. If somebody snatched your phone, you wouldn't just be like, "Boop, boop, boop, he's the owner now because he took it from
Okay,
me."
yeah, but guess what? If he has a gun, there's nothing I can do to stop him, right?
Obviously, yeah, but that doesn't make him the owner.
Okay. Yes, it does.
No, it does not. You don't.
Yes,
You don't
because he
believe
has-
it. Okay, so if somebody snatches your phone, pulls a gun, and you snatches your phone, you'll be like, "Oh, whoop, 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 he's the owner."
I mean, unless I want to fight with my life and die for it, then yeah, like.
All right, I don't think you believe that. Come on,
Okay, so then how did the United States government form, dude?
because they stole the land, bro. They stole the
Okay,
land,
yeah.
or they used money that they stole from other people
So why didn't the natives just take it back?
because they didn't have the money or the arms to do
Okay,
so.
there you go. Capitalism.
Oh, so that makes it okay. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is free
Yeah, it is.
exchange.
It was you
Capitalism
literally
is
just
free.
said,
That
no,
was
bro,
a state.
bro.
That was a state.
You're coping, bro. You're
That was a
coping.
state. That was a state.
Hold on, let me
Literally,
ask you
okay,
this.
but
Let me
here's
ask
what
you
you
You're
this.
said,
coping.
though.
You're
Here's
coping.
what you said. You said money and guns, right?
They didn't have enough guns to protect themselves.
And money, right?
Oh my god. Oh, so that
Okay,
makes it
okay,
okay. Oh, so they deserve
I
to be
didn't say
conquered.
that makes it
Okay,
okay. I
got
said
you.
that
No
makes
problem.
it reality,
Wow.
dog.
No
Like,
problem. Okay, so that makes it okay.
No,
Let
that
me-
doesn't
let me
make
ask-
it
let me
All
ask you this.
right. So who
real,
cares?
dude.
So who
It makes
cares?
it real.
Who cares?
I care because that's reality.
I don't care.
Look, whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. Look, okay, what
It
about
is
this? What
relevant,
about the United
obviously.
States? What about the United States during the Wild West? What do you call that?
What?
The United States during the Wild West, there was no like public police.
It was
force.
pretty.
They
It was
all
pretty
had-
AnCap. A lot of people say it was pretty AnCap. In fact, there was a YouTube video that a guy came out with that where he was talking about how it was actually pretty AnCap. It's
Exactly.
called,
There was like minimal government and people. There was still capitalism.
There was
and everything.
cattlemen's associations and dispute. They had a private dispute arbitration or resolution and arbitration agencies and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They still they had
Until the
sheriffs,
state
they-
came in and ruined it.
Well, yeah. They had their sheriffs and their bounty hunters and stuff like that. Like they're like small government
Yeah.
guys to keep the peace and everything.
Yeah. In fact, the government actually did a lot of fucked up things, man. Messed up.
Well, I mean, dude, like those.
You should
freaking
be with
bounty
me
hunters-
here, man. You should be with me here. You should be like, you know what, Sithis? You're right. Maybe we should get rid of these fucking.
Dude, do you know what they did during the Wild West? They freaking like killed a bunch of Indians and stuff like that.
Exactly. We should get rid of the government.
that was limited government under AnCap.
That
bro.
was not fucking the capitalist. That was the state. That was the state. The state came in from Britain, and then they fucking came in and they killed a bunch of Indians. It wasn't private companies that did that.
Okay, yeah.
You can manifest destiny.
And it lasted 100 years or so. So suck
yeah,
it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there are still Americans that kill some fucking idiots, bro.
Not as much as the government.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was state sanctioned, but it's gonna happen.
All right.
Monopoly on violence.
I don't want to hear it.
Dude, of course, dude. Because it fucking counters your whole ideology. Like,
No, it doesn't.
That's called being
No, it doesn't. It literally worked, and it was great. The government until the government came in and ruined it.
Yeah,
Dude,
the small
worked
government,
where, dude?
government fucked it up.
It's working in Prospera.
Yeah, yeah.
Fake
the
shit
small
that's gonna
government-
last
yeah.
maybe 10
It's not a
years.
government. It's not a state. They are not a state.
Dude, is it
What
in
part of
America
this do you
somewhere?
not understand, man?
Dude, is it
Okay.
in America?
Huh?
Is it in America?
No, it's on Honduras.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
so
well, that's Honduras, but there was also what was it?
Medieval
the
Iceland.
Free State Project.
It's a
Well,
feast-
the Free State Project too.
Yeah, but that's not AnCap. That's just you know.
I mean, same diff.
No.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
cut a bunch of
reside
towns.
in the borders of a state.
I mean,
then I don't see how.
they cut a bunch of town services. They wanted to make it a libertarian utopia, but you know, the brown bears kind of fucked them over because they went too far.
Nah, they
Moved
could have
too-
figured out a private solution to that.
They did not want.
They could have just shot the bears.
Okay.
Why couldn't they just shot the bears?
They could have threw out their stuff. I mean, they could have maintained their waste properly or something. Probably.
Who
got
cares?
Probably.
Well, they could have. They could have hired a private company that did that.
Okay.
Whoever is the owner of that land or whatever. Maybe they should have sold off that public land or whatever, and then it wouldn't have been an issue. And then if somebody got a bear went on somebody's land, they could have just shot it, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah, maybe, or just not feed the bears, probably.
Yep. Probably not a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
people always throw that example to me as if it's like, oh well, here's Ancapistan. They couldn't handle the bears.
What, that actually happened? That's kind of lame.
I mean,
like,
most of these libertarians.
They could have shot the bear.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
apparently everyone was too pussy to do it.
They should have got the gun. They should have all got guns and shot some bears. Who cares about bears?
Well, you gotta be man enough to kill it. Dude.
I mean, there should have been some kind of collective decision about those bears, like whether or not to feed them or throw out your waste to not attract them. You know.
Yeah, maybe they could have figured something out, but privately.
There was no central planning. Like,
Well, there could have been private planning. It could have been spontaneous order, but they didn't. Maybe there was something government blocking the private production of bear go away or something.
dude, whatever, dude.
Bear repellent.
Yeah, dog.
Dude, or they didn't have enough 308 rifles for everybody. Like,
Maybe
I
they
heard
need to
a
manufacture more.
I heard a clip on that from the Liberty Report. Apparently, what is Ron Paul? He's denounced Trump's fascist government.
Me too.
Pretty good on.
dude,
He hasn't legalized prostitution, and I'm pretty upset about that.
Dude, what's up with you in prostitution? Like,
I think it should be legal. I mean, somebody's got to
I mean,
advocate for it.
it basically is.
I mean, sure, so do I, but I mean,
No, I mean fully legal.
yeah, I know, dude. I like sex, dude. I like and support sex workers too, but I mean,
Listen, I'm very passionate about this issue.
You're very horny. I get it. Just calm the fuck down.
I'm very
Jesus
passionate
Christ.
about this. Whoa. I'm not saying I'm gonna exploit these women or have sex with exploit the prostitution. I'm just saying that
I'm not saying I'm gonna be human.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying that I think that women should have the right. Did somebody just hit a bong? I think that everybody should be, and I also think that we should legalize all drugs too. Especially fentanyl.
Okay, that's your thing. Look, I just want weed, alcohol, and psychedelics. Okay, you can keep the rest.
Well, I've never done fentanyl in my life personally, but I do think it should be legal because it's my body, my choice.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be legal to sell, but fucking
what? Why not?
You get caught using it, then because
Why
it
not?
fucking kills people and it fucking
Well, so do
has
cars.
teenagers sucking dick for fucking drugs. Like,
So do cars.
dude, nah, dude.
Cars kill people.
Yeah, but they don't turn teenagers into prostitutes. Like,
You could say that about weed.
Dude, no, you can't. No, the fuck you can't. Like, come on.
You can
come
say
on,
that about
stop.
you can say that about iPhones because iPhones turn women into prostitutes.
Come on, let's stop clowning around. Let's stop fitting the stereotype. Come on.
What? It's just, I mean, it's a fact.
I'm talking about some real world shit, like bitches getting strung out and fucking kept at a fucking dark, seedy hotel for random niggas to come through and pound out type shit. Like, real shit that you don't know about, dog. Like,
Okay. How about this? Would you support rehab too?
yeah, hell yeah.
I mean,
bro.
I'm not against it, although I'm against the state funding it. I think people should be allowed, if people want to do rehab, that should be their choice. If they want to fucking rot somewhere, then that's on them.
As long as they have the option. Sure.
I mean, yeah, but it has to be fucking socialized, otherwise no one's gonna be able to afford it. Like,
Why should I pay more for the lazy poor?
because otherwise fucking half the country becomes degeneracy, which is what we have right now. Like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with degeneracy.
dude, okay, well then
I think your body is I think your body belongs to you, and if you want to degenerate it, that's up to you.
I mean, yeah, you can go like Portland, Oregon type a little bit, but there has to be some limit, dude. Like, you can't just have motherfuckers like going around.
No, I'm saying I think we should legalize drugs, not fucking like decriminalize it. When you decriminalize it, you still have the issues of the black market. Whereas when you legalize it, you kind of get rid of the issues of the black market because you could just buy it at a store, and it's not as profitable for gangs.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, what happened with Portland, Oregon, wasn't the fact they decriminalized it and they started doing it.
They also got rid of their police too.
Well, they also well, I'm not sure about that, but they also cut rehab.
Well, not got rid of it, but de-invest whatever. Which I'm not necessarily against, but
I mean that's like I've heard of that, but it's largely been exaggerated. Like, I mean, that's probably more in line with freaking.
But they also let people like take drugs
in
public too, if I'm not mistaken.
And they also cut rehab too. That they also got rid of the option. I mean, people were just doing it all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So I think it was a multitude of issues. I don't think it was just merely. Although I think decriminalization is a step in the right direction. I don't think it solves the issue. I think the issue is the black market, because I think people doing drugs is bad, right? But I think the issue that is worse is the black market and the consequences that come with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
There's like a lot of people like shooting each other, and you have to smuggle it in. There's a lot of people in other countries that are killing each other. When you buy drugs, some of that money goes to like cartels and dictators and shit like that. So,
yep.
I'm actually making a YouTube video on it, and you're on my YouTube channel right now.
Okay, cool. That's nice.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, it was good talking to you. It was nice. I know we got a little heated, but you guys are all right. I'll see you guys later.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dude, peace out, dude.
All right, guys. I'm going to bed, so I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat.